Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. That took longer than I thought. That took longer than I thought for reasons I don't care to admit. That was not fun. Let's see. Are we here? Tell me that we're here. Are we? Put you over here. Hello. How do I leave the city? That's up to the map in your local area.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Why does Linus care about ad block? He has free healthcare. I don't know. I think his point is that he would just rather people be honest with themselves about what they're doing, and rather than say, well, this is okay because of that. I think he just cares that people be honest with themselves. I don't know about the free healthcare thing. There's more to life than free healthcare. Is New York closed down? Define closed down, NPR. I don't know, this stuff that's open. I was able to get a burrito today. Burritos. Do you have AAA? Yes, I like AAA. I give AAA is an amazing service. It's worth every penny. I don't know if he ever did that, Nanya. Never heard. NFTs seem like a consensual Ponzi scheme. I have no thoughts and defy crypto or crypto in general. Is New York going to mandate the booster? I think that would be the next. I think that would be the next natural thing to do. I think that's the next natural thing, because essentially the vaccine itself wears off to a considerable degree after a certain period of time. So now the whole concept behind getting the booster is that it's effective in either stopping spread or stopping hospitals from filling up. But that really does depend on when you got it. So to have a vaccine mandate, but to allow somebody to have a vaccine that was dose that they got over a year ago, it kind of, at that point, you either have to end the vaccine mandate and admit it's a bad idea, or double down by mandating a booster. And I think we know which direction New York would go in. A whole lot of nothing over dumb wording. Ad block. Ad block. I don't know. I use ad block. Is that who fixed your flat? Oreo did not fix my flat. Oh, AAA did give me a tow. That was helpful. Are you a millionaire? No, but I'm on the way. I have that feeling, though, that by the time I actually get there, like, it won't matter. When I was a kid, I used to joke around and say, when I become a millionaire, $1 million probably won't be worth anything. But I was kidding. Like, it was a joke. It was tongue-in-cheek. But I actually do think I'm at the point that once that actually does happen, it won't be worth anything. For the record, Canadian healthcare is not free. Our taxes are worse than New York's. You're being, please, stop with the ANCAP memeing. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like, come on. Please, no ANCAP memeing. I get it. I get it. Let's see. What's industrial society and its future? I don't know. That's really general, and I can't tell what you're referring to. What's your thought on great hunkening? I don't know what that means. Your cat blends in. He does. Do you do something for Valentine's, or do you skip it? I don't do something or skip it. I just don't acknowledge it as a holiday, because it's not. Do you think TV ads are more effective than social media? No, but TV ads cost a lot more money, and that's something that needs to change. Why is it that your eyes on YouTube are worth 10% what your eyes are on CNN or Fox? Like, I mean, it's an honest question. I'm dead serious. Why is it that YouTube CPMs are like 10% what they are for other TV networks? Like, I'm really curious, because you're the same person, right? Again, you're paying per a certain number of views. But now I understand, let's say if a popular TV show has more views, it's getting paid more. But why is the CPM, the amount that you're paying to advertise per number of views, higher on television than here? Why are your eyes and your ears worth 10% here what they are in other mediums. I don't think that makes sense. What is your opinion on tensions in Eastern Europe? I do not have an opinion. It doesn't wear off. The virus changes. They can be less effective. I mean, we're being pedantic here, but you get the idea. After a certain period of time, the vaccine's not going to work as well for you without a booster. The efficacy goes down. It's the same thing as when you get an infection. You know, if you get an infection, you have a certain period of fairly high immunity, and then that wanes with time if you have already been infected. Half the halfer, I am a nomad. Is New York worth worrying about anymore? Is it dead to you as a business owner? I mean, I still have a business here, so I'll come by and say hi from time to time. I'm still following GMA Hidden Short. Thoughts? I stopped following GameStop in February after, well, again, purely opinion, my opinion, not a financial advisor. When I saw what was, in my opinion, a short squeeze, and then it went back to normal. And then, but nobody wanted to admit that it went back to normal. They're like, no, it didn't squeeze yet. And it's like, I did a video on that. I invoked the movie Memento with Guy Pearce in that movie. What is the worst financial decision anyone can make? I think day trading, honestly. Most people lose money with that. Or they don't admit that they're losing money with it, or like they wait until they've actually lost a bunch of money with it. I think some of the worst financial decisions people make is not believing in themselves to some extent. So they wind up saying, like, the idea, I'm never gonna make a real amount of money. Why should I plan for retirement? I'm never gonna have more than like $1,000 in my bank account. So I might as well YOLO and spend a lot of money now. But if you look at the amount, people's salary does tend to go up as they get more skills, as they learn more, as they start their own business, whatever the hell. So if you assume that you're always going to be here, so I might as well just spend in the moment, then as your salary goes up, you may keep that same habit. And once you actually are making a decent salary, you may wind up blowing the entire thing. What do you think of Canadian truckers? I don't know. You got to ask a more specific question than that. I know that I'm sorry, but like really, you got to ask me something more specific. I have a very specific question. What are your thoughts on the stare of the entire world? The stare? The stare? On the stare of the entire world and humanity. What are your thoughts on the stare? Like this? Like stare? I don't know. I'm sorry. I feel bad because you gave me $5. Put in the normal. Can you make that question something that makes sense? You can post it in normal chat, and I'll read it. But you have to ask me stuff that makes sense. Goodfellas Pizza on Highland Boulevard is the best pizza in New York. Bullshit. Artichoke on 14th Street, but I avoid it because I don't like eating tons of carbs. Overhead question mark. I don't know what that means. That's just a word. That's not a question. A word with a question mark in front of it is not a question. If you got COVID recently, the amount paid for advertising is probably relative to the net worth of the individual watching the content. The amount paid for the advertising. But I don't buy that people that watch television are on average 10 times richer than people that watch YouTube. If you got COVID recently, should you still get the booster or not? I don't know. That's something that's something to discuss with your doctor. Don't ask me. I can tell you what I would do. I can't tell you what you should do. That's for a doctor. What's your opinion on people constantly asking for your opinion? I guess I kind of asked for it. It's tied to how much businesses are spending on advertising. Most retailers facing a real slow January. Now, what I'm asking is, why is it that people are willing to spend more money to advertise on television than they are to advertise in the same exact eyes on YouTube or anywhere else?
Oh, sweet mercy.
The amount paid for advertising is probably very relative to the net worth of the individual watching the content. Is it just me, or did that just show up? I feel like that double showed up. Do you have opinions on the Canadian trucker protests and how they're spreading to the rest of the world? I think that governments are going to have to make some tough decisions. What's more important? Like, at the end of the day, it really just comes down to what's more important to them. Like, are those truckers not delivering to the particular places that they're protesting? Does that affect them enough to take away the mandate? It's like the Joe Rogan and Spotify thing. Like, at the end of the day, like, what's Spotify's goal? Make some money. Okay, what's more important to us? The amount of money Joe Rogan brings in? The amount of money Neil Young brings in? Like, we both know the answer to that question, and it was obvious when they made the decision. That they just got to make decisions. They got to weigh things. If you got COVID recently, should you still get a booster or nah? I just answered that question, and go talk to a doctor. We're going back to New Hampshire. I don't really have a plan there. I'm just a nomad. I'm a nomad. I actually kind of want to visit Florida. Wanted to visit Mark in Florida. Wanted to check out Jacksonville Beach a little bit. By immunity, you mean like, let's see. Are you letting your business run itself? Yep, right into the ground. When are you going to finish decorating your place? I don't decorate. Never. I don't decorate. I didn't decorate this place. Erica did, but admittedly, a lot of the decorating was taking random crap off the street and bringing it here, and I kind of came back because I had to throw a lot of that shit away. The squeeze has not been squeezed as copium. Yes, that is copium. Worst financial mistake is buying chairs. Maybe. Would right to repair apply to other industries like firearm repair, where companies like Smith & Wesson won't release a parts diagram or sell parts of a certified gunsmith? As a philosophy, yes. As a piece of legislation, maybe. I don't know if this legislation would apply to guns, but in terms of a philosophical sense, it would apply. I have no opinion on YouTube Vanced. What do you think of future MacBook repairs? I think that they were broken and they'll be fixed. You guys want to weep for humanity? Look at the time of questions you asked this guy. Might as well have a lobotomy. Look at the time of questions? I will take your $5 and thank you for your $5, but I don't know what that means. What do you mean by time of questions? The time right now is 7:53 or 1953 for those in the military. Artichoke is a tourist trap. You're dead to me. You're lucky I don't ban you. Next. Would you ever go back to Olive Garden? No, that was trash. What martial art did you train in? I tried Wing Chun for 2 years, but I was horrible at it. I'm horrible at martial arts in general. I'm horrible when it comes to anything that requires hand-eye coordination or sports. Thank you, Ray Basil. Oh, state of the world, not stare of the world. Oh, okay, I get it. I think that there's more conflict now than there has been over the past 20 or 30 years, and I'm kind of sad to not see a way out of it. I'm in a country with zero right to repair laws. Can one 19-year-old make a difference? Always. Always. One person always has the possibility to get that first domino going. Do you think mass communication is fundamentally destructive to society? It seems responsible for widespread mental illness that's normalized by its pervasiveness. I don't think mass communication is fundamentally destructive. I think that the way we deal with each other right now is, but that's not necessarily a byproduct of mass communication. These questions are really getting stupid. I'm sorry. I appreciate the 199, but what the fuck? I used to actually enjoy doing this because of the topics and all the stuff, all the ways this stuff would go. And I guess I'm not supposed to say that because you gave me $2, but like, what the fuck? What happened to these questions? What happened to this stuff being smart? Don't go to Jack's Beach, go to St. Augustine Beach or Ponte Vedra. I lived in those areas for 15 years. Yeah, Mark is selling me hardcore on Jacksonville, but he lives there. Okay, I just wrote down Ponte Vedra or St. Augustine. I'll check it out. How much do Tesla tires cost to fix? $170, including tire labor. Why do you delete pertinent comments in the recent ad block video? I have not deleted any. Why do you assume that I delete comments? Let's see. You get bummed out when coming back to New York. Honestly, yes. I really didn't notice it until yesterday afternoon. But the thing is, I haven't even gone out and walked around yet. Honestly, here's the thing. So this apartment costs about twice as much as the other one. And when I got in, it was freezing because the windows are garbage. Like you can feel the air just like move past these shitty bent garbage windows that have no sense of... Tell me the name of it so I can look it up, Ravi. Thank you. Like they're just totally shit windows. It's just totally shit construction everywhere. And this little apartment, this little town, has perfect windows where it's negative 15 outside. And I set my heat to 63 degrees. I can turn it off. I could leave for 5 hours, and when I come back, it's 60. Like, that's how good it is. In here, like, it took 2 days. I had to spend about 3 hours going through every fucking window and putting this bullshit plastic wrap over it with tape. It's just like, why? There's so many little reminders of everything just sucking. It's just so annoying. It's what do you think is the best way to get started with first business? Somebody no experience starting a business, a lot of skills in electronic and mechanical repair. I don't think it's experience in starting a business that you need. I think you need a customer base that's willing to pay for whatever it is you have and the ability to get other people to know that you exist. You have to figure out a way to get other people to know you exist, and you have to figure out to actually give a shit about what it is you offer. And then just start offering it. What do you think of Spotify, Joe Rogan, Neil Young thing?
Oh, sweet mercy.
What are your thoughts on the Fox News anti-work interview? I haven't seen a Fox News anti-work interview. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't watch Fox. If you link it in normal chat, I'll take a look at it, but I can't watch. If it's like 30 seconds or a minute, I can watch it. If it's like 10 minutes, I can't because I'll fall behind on the treadmill. The Spotify, Joe Rogan, Neil, I'll make a note to Google this later. Fox work, anti-work interview. Let's see. Okay, so Joe Rogan and Neil Young thing. I've watched Joe Rogan before. There are podcasts where I've said, wow, I learned something from this. I enjoyed it. I got some inspiration. There are podcasts I've watched where I thought, I didn't really learn much. Or I think this is a stupid question, or I don't think this person makes any sense. I don't really think it's, I'm not offended by the fact that that podcast exists. You know, sometimes there's stuff on there that I really like, and I'm like, wow, this is great. And then there's times that I watch it and it's like, this is shit. But just because there are some episodes that suck, or I don't agree with somebody on the episode, I don't think that that really means that that should not exist. And I'm just so sick and fucking tired of people that just feel this that they have this hard on to stop other people from talking and saying anything. And it's just, do you think the John Deere lawsuit may lead some similar lawsuits regarding other companies like Kenworth, Volvo, and Freightliner? I don't know who Freightliner and Kenworth are. I know Volvo, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I guess it really depends on whether they're successful. If the John Deere lawsuit is successful, then it may be replicated. If the John Deere lawsuit ends in a dumpster fire, then I imagine it won't. But I do hope that they have some success with it, because a lot of what they're talking about there is true. Again, with the Spotify and Joe Rogan thing, it's like I have a natural bias against people that say, I don't like the fact that these two people are talking in a public medium. Like, take it down, stop, won't you think of the children? It's bothersome. Like, again, some of the stuff that I see on there, like, do I look at it, roll my eyes? Sure. But when that happens, I turn it off and I don't watch it. Were cats freezing there? Or do they have some warm secretary to slip with in your absence? The cat was enjoying a nice 55-degree apartment. Trying to write an English essay and write to repair, any key pointers to keep in mind? No, I'm sorry. I can't do your homework for you. I appreciate it. I can't do your homework for you. I got no points. What would you need to happen in the future for you to go to a normal working schedule? I don't work crazy hours anymore. I think I did a lot of time where I would get to work at 12 or 1 and I would leave at 2 or 3 in the morning. And then I started doing 8 hours a day. Then I did 6 hours a day. And now I'm a nomad. So I'm making up for the age of 17 through like 28, or 17 through 28 was a horror show. 29 through 31 was like a semi-horror show. And I'm kind of making up for that now. Which SMD component on a motherboard or GPU is most prone to fail? MOSFETs, caps, resistors, others looking to start repairing GPUs? None. When it comes to a GPU, usually what fails most often is the BGA chip, which makes it an uneconomical repair if you're even able to get them. On a motherboard, it's random. Like I feel bad because you gave $10, but there really isn't any quote most common. It depends on the board, honestly. Like, different boards have different modes of failure. Really, like, different boards have different modes of failure. Different boards are going to have different core failures. There's no such thing as applying it to everything. That's like, what is the most likely health problem that a person is going to have? What kind of person? Are we talking about an obese person? Are we talking about somebody that doesn't eat properly? Are we talking about somebody that, like a football player? Like, there's different core faults. I'm not even remotely close to making a decision on anything like that, Marquez. Not even remotely close. Not close. Nope, not close. I am happy there, but not going to make a decision. I'm not going to make a decision on like a $200,000 to $700,000 purchase in a week or two.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Where'd you get the blanket behind you? Erica? Ask Erica. Erica. Go to her channel and ask where she got this thing. It's called Cinevision. CINNAVISION. Did you see Hamilton? No. Do you see hope for right to repair and in general a business opportunity that would be sustainable? Kind of. Let's see. So your comment on Jimmy Dore, great comment. I think that's probably somebody pretending they're me. I do not remember ever commenting on a Jimmy Dore video. It's possible, but I don't remember it. And there's a lot of people in my own comment section that pretend they're me. Protecting Lawful Streaming Act, the CASE Act are the two new laws. Let's see. Protecting Lawful Streaming Act. Jeez. Let's see. I'll take a note. Jesus Christ. I actually was stupid enough to try and check. Let's see. I Googled the Reddit anti-work Fox thing and I get this. Nah. Okay. Fox anti-work interview.
Oh, sweet mercy.
We're moving to Jacksonville or what? You know, Sonny and Mark have both been pushing me on moving to Jacksonville. I would like to take a drive down there. I only spent a few days in Jacksonville last time, and I didn't really have a lot of time to... I didn't really spend a lot of time exploring. I'd like to go down to Jacksonville with Sonny. New Hampshire's nice, but I'm starting to have my... I'd like to be someplace where it's not negative 15 degrees for a while. So I'd like to check out Jacksonville for a bit. Mark lives there. What do you say after Mark is done here with his week of work, Sonny? What do you say? What do you say we do a trip to Jacksonville together? It'll be fun.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Supporting right to repair. Greetings from Switzerland. Thank you, Daddy-o. Get a chair. Have a chair. Do you have any opinion on precious metals in inflationary times? I do not. Let's see. Paul Daniels says, if you only want smart questions, you'll make no money at all in AMAs. Paul Daniels is correct. Renee says, nice last video. A topic is ad block piracy. I find this from Linus as hypocrisy, since one of his videos he recommended YouTube bans for blocked ads. I don't think that's hypocrisy. I mean, that could just simply be him admitting that I don't care about piracy. Like that, you're interpreting it as he's a hypocrite because he's called this piracy, but then he's recommending you do it. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's a hypocrite. That could simply mean that he just doesn't care. Like if I tell you that having sex with somebody else while you're with somebody else is cheating, but then I also do the same thing, am I a hypocrite or am I just a person that doesn't care about cheating on your spouse? Probably a bad analogy, but I hope you get the idea.
Oh,
I already answered this one, Brams. Let's see. Next. Why do people misspell your name all the time? I don't know. San Antonio is the spot to be in. Check that out too. I don't know about Texas. Do you think that the fact that ads on television are unskippable is why advertisers pay more? Maybe this is the future for online ads. Unskippable ads that uninterrupt your daily browsing. I mean, YouTube has the option for unskippable ads. I'm not seeing $50 CPM. Are you a diabetic? No. What's the price of the apartment? I don't want to talk about it. It makes me depressed. How do you feel about NVIDIA attempts to lure their graphics cards? I protest acronyms by ignoring them. Acronyms are cancer. Time to take down that tree. Never. You'll take down my Christmas tree once I am dead. To claw that Christmas tree out of my cold, dead hands. Will you move to Charlotte, North Carolina, open a shop and hire me? No, I don't think I'm pretty sure I don't want to open another shop for the rest of my life. I've had like 5 or 6 different businesses and almost all of them have failed except one, which is this one. And I made a decision that almost caused it to fail 2 years ago. I'm just done. I don't feel like investing in new shit, to be honest with you.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Thank you, Frank Coley. Oh God, that interview. The Rich Rebuilds interview? I enjoyed that. Rogan lets anyone on. It's all pot smoking conspiracy talk, but it shouldn't be banned. It's not all pot smoking conspiracy talk. There's a lot of it that isn't, but it's just, I just don't, like, if I enjoy the conversation, I enjoy the conversation. If I don't enjoy the conversation, I don't enjoy the conversation. This idea that you've said one thing that's wrong or one thing that people disagree with or one thing that's a little out there and you just have to get turned off. Like, no, fuck that. I don't have to like his show all the time to think that he should have an ability to exist. And that's the thing. Let's say he leaves Spotify. Does anybody really care? Like, I mean, they're going to follow him to another platform. Let's be real. You're not going to stop it. Have heard of the Mint Reform laptop. It's completely open source and has a complete parts list and schematics available. MNT Reform laptop. Let's see. MNT Reform laptop. Can I actually buy this? Okay, so it's still in progress. Again, I'll give you a thought on it once it's actually produced. Again, don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on them. I know it's very, very difficult to create products like this from scratch. It's just, it's one of those things where, like, I'll believe it when I see it because I respect how hard it is to actually get this done. What time is it in New Hampshire? And is there a time difference? There is no time difference. Same time zone.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Until I get kicked out, Jonathan NYC. I'm in the club, brother. Can't hear you, but I believe in you. You can't hear me? Also, what is six-pat? Six-pat, smiley face. Oh, thank you. Consuming a digital product without compensation to the creator can be done via torrent, download, or ad blocker. It's the same result. I see Linus's point. Let's see. I do. I just don't think it's piracy.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Just watch your video on ad block. I mostly agree with Linus. He clarified his point on WAN show. Ad blocking isn't literally piracy, but equivalent to it. Highs the core point is be aware of the impact, not that no one should use ad block. I agree with the idea of being aware of the impact. Do you think that the fact that ads on television are unskippable? Oh, well, why are you guys copying and pasting shit? Come on. I can't read 100 comments a minute. Like, can we be real? Like, I can't read 100 comments a minute. I scroll through. But the thing is, I'm less likely to read everybody else's comment if you spam yours, because it means that, again, you only get a certain amount of chat and restream before it resets and you can't see anything. So the more you spam, the less likely I am to read everybody else's crap. So if I see copying and pasting shit, I'm just banning people. Have you seen the Mint reform? God damn it. Okay. I actually like your question, so I feel bad for it, but a rule's a rule. Bye-bye. A rule's a rule. Bye-bye. Bye to you. Bye to you. Let's see.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Just started a job as an electronics repair tech at an insurance company, making $18 back in October. What do you think my progression should be after about 6 months? Should I invest in working longer with that company? I have no idea. I mean, how much value do you offer them? Are you getting better at your job? Do you save them money? Do you help them? Like, your progression is really going to depend on the effort you put in. I have employees at my business that have not gotten a raise in 6 years, and I have employees that have tripled their salary from the time that they started here in less than that. Like, it really depends on the value that you put in. And, you know, what I would suggest is important to you is to have open conversations with your boss as often as possible. What do you need from us? What's valuable? My rent of my new apartment, I feel really bad because you gave me $20, but I don't know. Boundaries. Like, how I put this with, yeah, that's what I kind of, I mean, I've told you guys the rent for my store though, so does it really matter? I guess $1,200. $1,200. Adverts changed when HD recorders came out. Lettering and images stay in frame longer so they can be seen even when fast forwarding. Did you set up the exact same area? No. Jacksonville is sketchy. Yes, it's kind of weird, but so is New York, so I'm open, you know. Do you know 2013, 2016 Ultima tied the freaking window wash fluid indicator to blindside assistance? When fluid is low, blindside doesn't work. I didn't know that. I tried a Nissan Sentra once as a rental, and it almost killed me, so I'm never using a Sentra again. Should Apple provide every small piece in the MacBook for it to be considered right to repair? One whole MacBook bottom. What do you mean one whole MacBook bottom? One whole MacBook bottom isn't every small piece. I'm not saying they provide me individual transistors to the CPU. I'm simply suggesting that they not stop other manufacturers that are making their parts from selling to me through exclusivity agreements. Bought 2021 Ford to find they don't come with printed owner's manual anymore, just on screen. What if I'm trying to fix the screen? Wow. Mind blown. At that point, I imagine that you would have to print out the manual or use a tablet or a phone with a PDF reader. That kind of sucks. Are there any states you refuse to move to? New Jersey, California, Illinois, Louisiana. Okay, now you're just pissing me off. Bye-bye. From timeout to bye-bye. You said my name right. Try some jawbreakers. Have some of my devalued pesos. Oh, that's kind of sad. I feel bad now. Are you keeping your store open in the city? And for the time being. Do you dislike all acronyms? Yep. Would you go on Joe Rogan if asked? Sure. I've asked before, but I've never heard back. Again, like, he's interviewed Elon Musk, he's interviewed presidential candidates. I don't see myself getting on that show, but I'm open to it. Your cat is cute. He is cute, but he drools a lot, so I have to wipe his mouth. Massachusetts right to repair will pass the committee. I heard from Nathan earlier. I was going to have to like Jack Bauer, Tacky Chan or something if he tried to hold it up, but he didn't. Thank you, Mr. Tacky. Thank you for spreading the word. Still a battle ahead, but there's hope. Yes, this is the first time that it actually moved through. I am very happy with that. I actually wanted to do a meetup at that Trillion Brewing Company bar in Boston as a kind of a congratulations to everybody for actually having a different result this time. Because every single year this bill just got tabled and didn't go anywhere. But this year, it changed. I think because people actually contacted it. It's awesome. How are you, Emily Ram? I'm doing well. Hope you're doing well. And I hope that your new career is working out well for you. Have you bought seating for guests at your new apartment? No, they get to sit on crates. How exactly would right to repair legislation help repairing my broken marriage? It would help you to be able to fix your laptop that you would then use to use OkCupid or Tinder or something to find a new person. How will you ensure the same ethics you apply to your company will persist when you're gone? I'm not gone yet. You are able to manage things remotely. You can look through things remotely. But when I'm gone, I don't know, wouldn't be able to at all. Like if I sell the company to somebody, then that's that. But I haven't sold my company to anybody. A lot of people think I could sell this company for $1 million, which is an absolute, complete and utter pipe dream. Like the max, somebody out there would probably pay $20,000 or $30,000 for my phone number, and like all the desk equipment is probably worth 40% what I bought it for because of depreciation. But other than that, then no. So you are really moving. I never said I was moving. I'm a nomad. What was the process to turn your cats gay? Why am I reading these questions? These are horrible. Do you think when right to repair laws pass that they'll help set precedent for other industries? Yes, that's why I have an investment in caring about whether it gets passed for the medical industry, caring about whether it gets passed for agricultural, caring about whether it gets passed for everybody else, because if it gets passed for them, it then demonstrates to society that it is not dangerous for it to be passed for me. Why not California? Because California's a clusterfuck. Are you kidding me? It's insanely fucking expensive. They had horrible COVID lockdowns. After the protests and riots and everything of 2020, that shit went on for way too long. And they did like, no. I don't want to, if I'm going to move someplace, I don't want to move to someplace where there's a fucking curfew because of people going out and destroying shit. I don't want to live someplace where you pay $2 million for a house that's the size of this fucking apartment. I don't want to live someplace that has the highest taxes in the country with shit for services. Horrible. Like, no. Just no. No. The whole idea is for a new experience. Not like if I wanted the experience of everything being overpriced and everything being horrible, I just, fucking stay here. Been offered $10K a month by a potential new employer, but have to move to New York City from a nice suburb in Michigan. Is it worth it? How much that depends on what you make in Michigan, honestly. You have to figure out what is the adjustment in your cost of living and what is the difference in your salary. Honestly, $10,000 a month, like, again, I hate to say it, this is going to sound so spoiled and shitty, but $10K a month, you're not rich here if you make $10K a month, Like, if you find an apartment you're going to find an apartment that's $3K. If you want to find an apartment that's actually kind of nice, then you're probably looking at $4K or so. You could live in a crappier like shithole like this that I have in Brooklyn, where you're putting fucking plastic wrap on the windows so that you don't freeze when it snows. But then you're going to be paying like closer to $2,000 to $2,500. Pumpkin pie and carrot cake. I don't know if does pie count as cake? I think it should. If it does, pumpkin pie. What's wrong with Louisiana? I can't say on stream. It is confidential for the time being, but I will never fucking go to that state. Like ever go to Louisiana. Fuck that. I wish I could say it publicly. I cannot because there is still litigation pending. But no. No Louisiana for me. No Louisiana for me. Never. Nope. I can't do it. I literally can't do it. It's something that I'd be more than happy to discuss several years from now when everything's over. But just like, no. I can't. I wish I could. I can't. I'm sorry. Have you ever read anything about the no trust policy for web security? Never heard of that. Where's Mr. Clinton? He's gone. How have your staff been coping during the pandemic? Mental health is a big thing, and I hope they're all okay. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, like, would you tell your boss that? Like, let's say, like, when your boss walks by and says, hey, how you doing? Do you say, well, actually, my mental health has really been degrading and I feel horrible and depressed and I don't know what to do? Or do you just go, okay, you know? I mean, like, I ask people, hey, how's it going? But at the end of the day, are they really going to tell me? Like, probably not. You know, I can ask certain questions, but as a business owner, it's really not my place to, oh, God, you're one of those people. Oh, God, I will take your 20 knocks into GTFO. I would, how come you never talk about moving to Wisconsin? I don't know. I'm just not interested in Wisconsin, I suppose. Like, I just don't have I forget what I was talking about, actually. What was I? We'll continue. Would you get interviewed by Ben Shapiro? Absolutely. I'll talk to Ben Shapiro. Why not? I did an interview with Sam Cedar. Like, if I'll talk to, again, I'll talk to Joe Rogan. I'll talk to Sam Cedar. I'll talk to Ben Shapiro. Like, why not? Yeah, sure. I would. I don't think I'd get on a show, but I'd be happy to.
Oh, sweet mercy.
What advice would you have to a 25-year-old Louis Rossmann? Spell my name with 2 N's. Come to Lubbock, Texas. A lot of people have said go to Texas. Louis, my cat is 12 years old and she drools a lot. Turns out it's because she has really bad teeth. That's not always the case, though. I want to check. Yeah, I really do got to get you a dental cleaning, don't I, Oreo? It's just the dental cleaning is $3,000. And you don't bring in any revenue, you little kitty. You know who does bring in revenue? Mr. Clinton. Mr. Clinton's got a video at 2.7 million views. And what do you have, Oreo? You should start bringing in some money, boy. Yeah, fine. I'll get you some. I'll get you a dental cleaning. You have a storage unit. I have storage units. Thank you for inspiring me to get into board repair. Thank you, Pathfinder. Did you know we had NESDA in local chapters? I was vice president of CESDA. I did not know about NESDA or CESDA. What's the current SAT of right to repair?
Oh, sweet mercy.
It's a philosophy and it exists. If we're talking about controversial people, would you interview with Kim Jong-un? I don't see what the benefit of that would be. I'm pretty sure that there would be little benefit from that. And in terms of value, I don't really have enough foreign policy knowledge to be able to conduct an interview with him that would actually matter. What's the hardest thing in your career that you had to overcome? Repeated failure? Destroying my supply company. Oh, there's a lot of... Yeah, this is failing over. Did you check out the Seattle Real Estate Podcast yet? I have not. I have not, because honestly, that just depressed the fuck out of me. The state of real estate in this country in general just depresses the fuck out of me. So I just don't want to... I don't listen to it on my spare time.
Oh, sweet mercy.
For Oreo Dental Fund. Look, Oreo, somebody cares about you. Can you fix my iPhone? Dude is spoiled, only reads donos. Oh, you know what? I've been reading free comments more than the paid ones. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to log in and fucking get rid of you because you're being a little cunt. That's what you get. We're actually going to log in and get rid of you. You actually made it worth logging in a Twitch chat. Fuck you, you fucking prick. Been reading normal comments the whole time. Any future plans for the YouTube channel? I have never planned anything on this place, to be honest with you. I've literally just made it up as I go. One of the, when people have said you should consider doing YouTube as a job or full time, one of the things that makes it hard is I honestly don't know what I would even do. Like with my business, I know what makes that successful. Like, provide a service that Apple doesn't, provide the service at a far lower cost than Apple's replacement would cost, do it quickly, Advertise it everywhere you can, and money comes in. Like, I know what makes me valuable. On this platform, I have no fucking clue what people want because everybody's a liar. Like, when I post real estate videos, thank you, Copass, a lot of people say, I don't want this real estate shit in my feed. Get this crap out of here. Yet, that literally is the best viewed content I've ever created. And when I make a border repair video, like, oh, thank you so much. We want more of these. Please make more of these. Please make more of these. And when I make them, it's like, literally nobody watches it. I'll lose 2,000 subscribers when I post a border repair video. But everybody, so I don't know what is actually valuable on this platform. I don't know what people actually want to watch. I don't know how to be successful. So I just kind of YOLO and do whatever the fuck I please. But I don't really have a plan for YouTube. It's just, I just upload shit when I feel like uploading shit. I'm afraid that the moment that I actually start caring about being, quote, successful on this platform is the moment that I would fail. Holy crap. Oreo, Rachel cares about you. Look at that. I think you have a new mommy. Look at that, Ray. Look at that, Oreo. Hey, you want to visit Rachel? Oreo, you want to visit Rachel? You know how in Garfield, you know how Garfield always used to put Odie in a box and mail him to Abu Dhabi? You know what I'm thinking I could do to you? I could put you in a box and mail you to Rachel. Mm-hmm. We got an Amazon box right there. What do you think? I poke some holes in it, send you over? Close your eyes and purr if you agree. Okay, good. We're going to do that after this video. What are your thoughts on Blackrock buying single-family homes? Mostly crap. Mostly crap. So I did a bunch of reading on this a while back, and let's see. Where did I put this? Actually, where'd it go? Fuck. I tried to figure out where that came from because it got mentioned in another stream. So it seems like this, I'm paraphrasing a bunch of things that I copied and pasted during my research on it. So it seems like this is based on some fake news Twitter rant from a person who doesn't know what they're talking about. And so it looks like there was one case where there was a known shortage of rental space somewhere in Texas. A big developer decided to address that by building 300 houses specifically as rental homes in one big project. An investment fund bought the whole project, and the developer gave an interview cheering about how happy he was that he was able to make 50% of a profit off of that one deal and how rare it is. And that investment company that bought the project wasn't even Blackrock, but owned by a smaller competitor. And then they kept quoting that Blackrock is buying up all the houses 50% over market value as a fake news article. The only reason Blackrock was brought up was that back in the 2008 crisis, the Obama administration decided to buy up homes as a stimulus measure, but some law prohibited them from doing that, so they used Blackrock as an intermediary agent to buy the houses for them. Ever since then, they have this reputation as a house buying monster, but they had nothing to do with the deal in Texas. And another one, I'm a real estate appraiser. This topic makes me laugh every time. I've never done a single appraisal in the last 3 years where the buyer was an investment company overpaying for a move-in ready home. Even if they're paying cash and didn't need an appraisal, I would hear about this happening in my town area from listing agents, and it isn't really a thing. Like most of the topics, this is grossly over-exaggerated and is kind of dangerous because it's turning reasonable red-pilled viewers into doomsday prepping black-pilled lunatics. And so I kind of agree with those two comments. Planning my exit strategy from New York City, a small business owner. City will target business owners via petty enforcement, sanitation, building codes for revenue. They are, yeah, and I've already told a lot of my staff that I kind of have like 1 foot out the door. Oreo shipping fund. Thank you. I kind of have 1 foot out the door as it is. I don't really know. But I'm really not at a point in my life where I feel like moving a business. I'm just not at a point in my life where I missed one of these, but it was, let me see what I missed. Repair videos seem to be doing well. You could do a video clipping your cat's nails. I don't know. What do you think of the EPA cracking down on non-regulated components for race cars? That's a tough one because, like, on one hand, I really do think that, like, the smog and the garbage that gets put out there, like, when you see the smog that comes out of some cars, they really are disgusting. But at the same time, is it enough of a problem? Like, are race cars really, what's adding to nasty shit in the air? Is that the main problem? Is it worth it for that to be addressed? I get an idea. If every single person were driving, because when you take a look at what things used to look like smog, let's see, Perfect Porio Dental Fund. Thank you. Like, when you look at shit like this, will I get a chance to show this picture? Here we go. 1968, New York City. 2005. I don't even know if that's New York City, but like, I get the idea behind wanting lower emissions in vehicles. But I find it hard to believe that race cars are the primary reason for that, or enough of a reason.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Oreos are bad for your teeth. 4 out of 5 dentists recommend changing your cat's name to Trident. This issue. That's a quality comment. Do you think YouTube pays channels way too much or way too low? Honest opinion. I don't think that it's about whether they pay too much or pay too low. I think it's fair. The split that YouTube arranges with the content creator is more than fair. I think the issue is that YouTube is lowballing themselves with advertisers. I think that YouTube should be telling advertisers, listen, more people are using this platform. Pay up. You think you'd be able to focus on big picture concepts like promoting regulatory change if you didn't have things like a relationship in your life? No, I mean, like, a relationship has nothing to do with whether or not I actually make progress with right to repair. As a 24-year-old, no degree. This job provided me with a Samsung and Google certification as well as exposure to working computers for diagnostics as well as other electronics. I'm trying to figure out if I should use. Fuck. Oh, you wrote like a 2-paragraph question. Fuck. How do I find the rest of this? All right. Where was I?
Oh, sweet mercy.
Thanks for looking into it. I saw news articles. Blackrock wanted to know your thoughts. Hard to trust anything online. To be clear, I could be talking out of my ass. Like, it's very possible that I'm wrong. I just did very preliminary research on it. And again, what I find is that people often, they want to read things and they want to hear things that reiterate whatever their worldview already is. I think that you feel a fundamental sense of stress when the reality of how the world actually is radically different from your worldview. People need to believe that they understand why the world is the way it is. It makes them feel like they have some sense of control over their own life if they have control over their understanding of the world. So it actually feels good when people tell you what you want to hear. The work search and experience to look for higher paying work in the tech field, even if they add value to my resume. Or should I look into maybe return to college and getting more degrees or certifications? The only work experience I have is customer service at an airport. This is a question that Eli, the computer guy, would call, vanilla shortcake or butter brickle. So Eli would always respond with this really wise-ass thing. And his idea was essentially, there is no such thing as the, quote, right answer. Like, what should you do? I have no fucking idea. It's very possible that somebody could have started out at the exact same time that I started out in MacBook repair and been horribly unsuccessful, whereas I wound up, with a business with 12 employees. Like, I can't answer that question for you. I mean, you got to, it's a generic answer. Thank you, Aaron. Although I'm still going to make Rich sit on the crate. I did tell him ahead of time that I didn't have a chair. I can't answer that question for you. Like, I don't know what you want to do with your life. I don't know what what gives you a sense of purpose, what you care about, what you find valuable. I have no way to answer that. What do you think of the Asus Top 505? I have no idea what that is. You worked on or used Motorola phones? I've used Moto G phones, and I think they're great. I didn't know you were there, Aaron, too. If you were, I would have asked you to do it. But I kind of wanted the satisfaction of doing it myself. You really have to be honest with yourself and figure out what it is you want to do with your life, but more importantly, what actually gives you a sense of purpose and makes you feel happy. Don't just, the worst thing you could do is just do something because you feel, I don't do a job just because a bunch of people tell you that's a, quote, good thing to get into. Would your shop be able to repair older stereos? We don't do that. We need to make money. Also, if someone brought one in on your walk-in classes, would someone be willing to take a look at it? I'm not doing any of those at this point in time because I wasn't able to find somebody who was open to doing it for $100. I was offering like 200. I think it was like 200 to 200. No, it was 70. I'm trying to do math in my head. I was offering $260 for a few hours for an instructor to teach those classes, and I couldn't find anybody to do it, so I gave up and said, fuck it. I wanted to let you know that I appreciate your content on accepting failures in business endeavors and in the store. It's pushed me further at honing my craft. Hope your evening is nice. Thank you. It is. It's most certainly nice because I have a cat in my lap. Thank you. Yeah, I unfortunately gave up on the workshop idea. I'd be able to do them myself and do the teaching myself if I was in New York City all the time, but I do want to make some more trips. Do you think the U.S. is going into a recession? No, I don't think it is going into one. I think it has been in one for a very long time. There's just people have been pretending it isn't. Do you miss your cats? I always miss my kitty, except when he's drooling on me. I have direct and regular contact from members of the Florida State Legislature. How can I assist the fight for right to repair in Florida? Talk to them about it? I don't know. I have an old video that answers this question. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I gotta find it. Okay, I had a video. It was like, what can a normal person do to help it move along? But I don't know. I gotta find the title of it. Please consider changing profile picture and fight to repair Twitter. I honestly don't even use that. Like, I don't use. I don't log into Twitter much. What's your opinion on inflation? Let's see how we fight to suppose some of inflation with negative real rates. I think it's a byproduct of a number of things. It's you have a bunch of businesses that were shut down. You have less products and services out there, and combined with the fact that there was more money put out there when you had less products and services out there for a long period of time. And I don't see that getting any better with negative interest rates. I don't see that getting better. And like when the Fed talks about the amount that they want to hike interest rates, at the end of the day, it's like it's nothing in contrast to what has actually been put into the system. I'm not optimistic. I have a 2015 A1398 with a battery that's just restarting to bulge. Not the money, it's the lost time and turnaround. Do I send it now or can I wait? You can wait. It's just eventually it'll crack your trackpad. If you wait too long, it'll crack your trackpad. I can't tell you how long you can wait because I do not have the requisite chemical science expertise to tell you at what point your battery is at what rate your battery is gonna do this and then crack your trackpad. But eventually it does. I'm not a good man, Gary. You guys think it's because I'm nice to Oreo that he sits here. What? Oh my God, you're drooling on me. Stop. I had to change my pants already once today because he keeps drooling. Jesus Christ.
Oh, sweet mercy.
But it's just, I feed him. Like, I open cans for him and that's it. Knowing what you know, how would you have approached right to repair at the beginning? And do you think there would have been a difference? Oh, 100%. If I knew that people were going to treat companies and brands like they were their father, I would have changed the way that I approached it entirely when it came to Apple. So I also didn't think that anybody would actually watch this channel. So like when I would do an angry rant about something Apple did, I didn't know that there would be 1 million people watching this someday. I didn't know that this would front page Reddit. I didn't realize that this would make the National Review and shit like that. So if I actually had any thought or idea that anybody would ever listen to any of this shit, oh, thank you, Joseph. Hopefully. If I had any idea that anybody would actually watch this shit, I probably would have approached it differently. And I likely would have approached it in a way that would have made like Apple and Tesla cult fanboys feel less like I was attacking them. I was never attacking the people that buy the products. That was never my intention. My intention was always to be very specific, is that I despise the way that this company treats you. And a lot of people who like Apple products took that as, I hate you because you bought an Apple product, which is not true, but it's the way they feel. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think, it matters what they feel. So I probably would have approached things very differently if I actually had any idea that anybody would actually watch this shit. But it's too late to do any of that now, so I might as well just keep the way I'm doing. I might as well just keep the demeanor that I have. If you were to visit the UK, do you have a place you'd want to visit? Give us your 30-second opinion on us. I don't think I have any desire to visit the UK. I don't have a 30-second, I don't really have an opinion because I've never been there. I don't have an opinion because I've never been there, but it seems like a lot of the UK is really expensive and really overcrowded. I don't know. Seems like a lot. Like when I look into the prices and the crowding and everything and the traffic in London, I fail to see how I'm getting a radically different experience than what I get in New York City. So listen, Oreo, if you're going to drool, you got to drool over here, okay? That's gross. Money is the root of all evil. I disagree. I think the love of money is the root of all evil, or the pursuit of money at the expense of everything else is the pursuit of all evil. Do you like horror movies? I like good movies. I don't really care the genre. You to get someone to handle moving for you. No, you don't understand. When I say moving, I don't mean putting things in a box and opening it somewhere else. I mean advertising in a new area so people show up. I mean managing and figuring out which employees would move and which ones wouldn't move. I mean setting everything up from scratch. I mean dealing with the transition and dealing with having this place open simultaneously with a new place. If I'm going to have a new place open simultaneously with this place, that means I need two different sets of equipment, which means spending $20,000 or $30,000 on all the equipment that I have to buy it over again for the new place. If I'm dealing with being open here and then closing once I have no more customers and opening in a new location, then I'm dealing, I can have the same amount of equipment, but then you have a downtime of several weeks and the lost money from that. So like it's a royal pain in the ass. And I honestly just don't, I'm open to moving myself personally, but I don't really think, I don't know if I'm open to moving a business. It's an insane amount of work. It's an insane amount of work and effort. And like, if there was like money to be made in doing it, probably, but I don't think there is. My business kind of peaked in September of 2019. I don't really think that I want to start from scratch and like spend tens of thousands of dollars for the ability to start from scratch, you know? I'm not a role model. I'm a scut. If you were to restart your business, what would you do differently? Oh, so many things. The first thing I would do is I would have fired the early people much quicker. I would have trusted my snap judgment and not been afraid of people thinking I'm an asshole. I would have, let's see, I probably would have started board repair way sooner. I wouldn't have done supply company shit. I wouldn't have gone into selling screens. I would have went into board repair way sooner, like 5 years sooner. I would have had more faith in myself there. I would have looked for a larger place sooner, but I probably would have been open to kind of separating or segmenting the business out into two separate places. I don't know. Starting board repair 5 years sooner, I think. Rage more. Next. Sweet Mercy? What pie is best pie? Pumpkin pie, by far. College isn't necessary. There's also a major labor shortage. In what industries? What is the proper temperature to set hot air at for SMD removal? How long is a piece of string? No, really, how long is a piece of string? Like, what are you heating? What board? How many layers in that board? How large a ground plane is there? Are you heating a 0201 component or are you heating a giant transistor? How long is a piece of string, my friend? Is this a new microphone? No, this is, my cat broke my AT4050. I still have this here. I don't know what, there's so much shit I need to throw away. I feel less stressed when I'm there, to be honest with you, SoCal kid. I feel less stressed and I feel a little bit more free. I should have done that a long time ago. I think people are more open to experimenting in a video game than they are with their own life. Like people are more open to trying like different characters, different weapons combinations, different strategies in a video game than they actually are to changing their own life. And I made a New Year's resolution. I don't care where it is. I want you to have a new address in your ID before New Year's. I don't care where it is, just to be able to say that you started and made a step towards making a difference. And I did, and I'm happy. This is an AT4050 that doesn't work. It is one of many things that I need to throw the fuck away in this apartment because I'm a fucking pack rat and I keep everything like this. This is a dead hard drive. This hard drive has been dead for 5 years, and it doesn't even have data on it that I need. Why is it here? Like, I need to throw all this shit away. I have so much garbage, but I'm gonna be sorting through a lot of that garbage this week. Do you know Asus is pronounced like Isus? I don't give a fuck. If they wanted me to pronounce it properly, they would have named it better.
Oh, sweet mercy.
I'm 14 and want to advocate and talk about right to repair. I'm often told nobody take me seriously because I'm young. Do you think that's true? The question is, does it matter? Are you not going to talk about something simply because a lot of people won't take you seriously? I mean, I didn't think people would take me seriously when I started posting this stuff. There's no reason for people to take me seriously and not you. That's the thing. When you're young, they're going to say you're too young. And then when you're old, people are going to say, oh, you're too old, you're out of touch, you don't understand. Like, there's always going to be an excuse. Fuck what everybody says. Just do you. I'm serious. When I started this business, nobody took me seriously because I was a teenager. And now people will say, well, you're out of touch, you're old or whatever. You're in your 30s. You don't, you're not, like, there's always something. Just ignore it. Rocky Road or Butter Brickle. That's it. Ace Hardware remembers. It's Rocky Road or Butter Brickle. Yes. I'm 10 minutes behind. When do you think the U.S. will come out of the recession it's been in for a very long time? I don't know. When they stop trying to artificially, pave over it. How do you feel about deflation? I would have no problem with the cost of food, the cost of housing, and the cost of many other things actually going down to some extent. What topic you've changed your opinion on from the last 5 years that made a big difference in your life? Ooh, that's a good one. I want to see if there's one that I'm comfortable discussing publicly. Okay, I can only answer half of it. Everything is more complicated than it seems, and I'm open to there being answers to problems outside of an oversimplified ideological answer to them that I may have once thought. Best 10 pounds I ever spent. Senpai, notice me. North, Scotland, Cornwall, Wales, Lake District are worth a visit. Any holidays planned? I don't plan anything, actually. I don't plan. I avoid planning things. Especially travel. Copying and pasting. Bye-bye. Yeah, Oreo's a good kitty, Carrie. How are you doing, Carrie? Would you ever get a dog? What? No. How difficult was it to create a nonprofit? What are the biggest challenges you're facing with gaining support? Getting normal people to care, I suppose. I thought that if I had a certain amount of money that I could solve certain problems with money. But you actually can't solve certain problems with money if nobody actually cares. Bought a broken 55-inch TV for $10. I replaced the LED backlights and it was $80. Your videos are giving me confidence to dig in and try to fix things. That is cool. What was wrong with the LED backlights? Oh, I've never done a television repair, to be honest with you. Okay, I take that back. I fixed a Sony KDS A2000 rear projection TV by replacing the lamp back in 2010, but that was it. Like, for instance, I wanted to create guides for Repair.wiki, but I couldn't get people to contribute. So I thought, oh, wait, okay, if I have a mountain of money that I could offer people to contribute, that'll make it easy. But one of the things I realized is there's a surprising number of people that I thought would be open to contributing that, even for a mountain of money, where I tell them, set your own rate. I got a lot of ghosts. So I think the hardest part is getting people to actually care, I suppose. Even with money. You're not going to pee on stream again, are you? You never know. Maybe. Is there a reasonable amount of walk-in business left? Yes, but not $13,000 worth. Oreo. Oh my God. Oreo with the freaking drool. Oreo. Gross. I've tried to fix the mic, no luck. That is done. Have you considered building an online school for a computer repair? I have, a youtube.com/Rossmann group, and every time I contribute a video to it, I lose 500 to 1,000 subscribers. I did. I've uploaded 600 videos to the online school of youtube.com/Rossmann group. I've also posted a bunch of guides to repair.wiki. If only anybody cared. Nobody cares about that stuff. They're here to see me yell at real estate and yell at greats. What's a luaus? Let's see. Can you not repair the dead microphone? No. It's dead. It's dead as a dodo. It fucked. By the way, when you were driving New Haven the other night, there was a loud thud in the live stream. Thought you had crashed. I tried to tell them that's just the way Connecticut roads are. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. It's all excuses, says Luck Lori. What's all excuses? What's it's? How long do you think it will take for New York to evolve into a state of cannibalism? That's a ridiculous question. I spelled seltzer on my keyboard. What should I do? Turn it upside down. Why do you steal employees instead of letting them find you? I don't understand how they would find me. I imagine that the way that they found me is when I said, hey, it's, we've been talking for a while and it seems like you're not happy where you are. Would you like to make more here? That was my method of getting them to find me. Hey, Louis trying to buy a camera for my microscope. Confused by one thing. In most videos, I see people have this microscope go into a long tube thing before it gets to the scope. Is this a Barlow lens? No. Barlow lens is something that goes in the bottom of it. That makes everything look zoomed out. Fuck that. I hate Barlow lenses. Don't get a Barlow lens. The tube that is, I don't know the names of this shit. That's what makes it hard. So there's a thingy, and then there's another thingy. And if the long tube sucks. It actually looks worse than the small thingy. It's like SZM CM1/2 or something. You want the small thingy. You don't want the long thingy. You actually want the smaller one. I know this sounds weird, but there's probably women out there watching that are probably disappointed. But seriously, the long tube, you don't want that. You want the really short thing. Because the long tube, things start to get a little blurry or weird, and it's very difficult to get things in perfect focus. There's a small one. It's like SZM1/2 or something. Paul Daniels knows what I'm talking about. And if he's here, he'll link it in the chat. But the thing is, certain microscopes, it won't fit on there. And the big pain in the ass is that Amscope and Omano and all these other companies, they're constantly changing what it is they put on their microscope. I tried selling a microscope that had the one that looked really good a while back, but I was getting absolutely sodomized by customs, by the Trump tariffs that only applied to newer businesses and not older ones. So I wasn't able to compete and sell those anymore. Where's Paul Daniels? Paul Daniels is still here. Finding people who have enough passion to care and contribute is hard. At least you have TCRS or Tim Merriman. Yep, Tim is a fucking beast. TCRS Circuit. I'm going to shout him out down below so that people can find him and check out his channel. Do you think people don't want to contribute to Wiki because they don't see themselves as expert for that particular repair and they fear criticism of their methods? They could contribute anonymously. I mean, if I think you're an expert in something, I think you're probably at least decent at it. I don't know what it is. I just think it's indifference and not wanting to care. No dog, unsub. Oh, you triggered, aren't you? You triggered. You have any thoughts on the protests in Ottawa? I don't. I think I did in the beginning of the stream, but it's just not something that I've been really focusing on. Any interest in audiophile gear? No. What music do you have you're listening to lately? A lot of Earth, Wind, and Fire recently. What's keeping you in New York? Nothing's keeping me here. Let's see. Microscope thingy. What can you bench, bro? The most I've ever done in my life was 9 reps of 225. But right now I'm closer to like 6 or 7 reps of 225. Mm-hmm. Is Cat Drew normal? If you're Oreo, I guess. Oreo's not a normal cat, though. What helped you most with insomnia? Nothing, really. Honestly, one thing that helped was doing 1 hour of cardio a day. Like, I started doing 1 hour of cardio a day when I went to New Hampshire, and that actually was quite helpful. Like, by the time I got home, I was exhausted enough that I could fall asleep much earlier. When are you going to throw away the Christmas tree? Never. I love my Christmas tree. Any thoughts on the protests? I don't really have any thoughts on them. If they think that the truckers are important, they'll get rid of the mandates and whatnot, and if they don't, or they think they can replace them, then they won't. I have no idea which way that'll go. Why hasn't Apple hired you? Because I don't have any qualifications? Can you feed your cats good food instead of dry food? Dry food can be good food. That is a loaded question. Walking is cardio if you walk really fast. You could speed walk. Are you follow Ben Shapiro? From time to time. Let's see. You need a tattoo. No. Erica not going to Vermont. I don't know. I don't really know if she wants to go to Vermont or not. Who is the better cuddler, Rich or Stevan? You see, the thing is, he cut out that part of the video, so you guys are never going to get to see that. I think that may be going on his patrons only. I do remember the 21st night of September. But that's not... that song is kind of played out. I really prefer albums like The Promise. I think it could, Asher. I mean, you have... Rich has a electrified garage that seems to bring in money. You made a joke when you visited Florida about making a company called Rossmann Realty. My landlord uses a company with that name already. I must sue him then. Vladimir, that is completely has to do with lighting. I do because I do, ACHW. As someone who catches you every now and again by being entertained, I was unaware of the wiki you just mentioned. Maybe the issue is awareness. One of the problems there is every time I've done a video promoting it, it's gotten less than 10K. But that's not... I don't think that's something that I have control over. You should buy employees lunch. Why? Also, some Amcrest microscopes need Barlow lens for that zoom out, like mine. Yeah, what? How do you not have a focus knob? That sounds like highway robbery. Felix, I think that you have been screwed. Check out Moving Mountains and their album Numa. I think you would like it. I will check. I'm going to add that. One sec. Let me open my little notepad app. And added. Mr. Rossmann, I was wondering if you heard of or read about the probe small business changes Eric Adams is intending to do, and if you think it's worthy to make a video about it. I haven't heard about it. I haven't, and I obviously have my doubts that he will do anything that's any good, but I'm open to hearing about it. Email me, lewis@rossmanngroup.com. Would you say attending a timeshare sales event for the sole reason of free 4 tickets to Disney World and not buying the timeshare is piracy? Don't ever go to a timeshare sales event because they will torture you. You should have stayed on First Avenue. Yeah, I know. Trust me. Over $100,000 of dumbassery later, I know. Probably actually closer to 200K, honestly. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's definitely over 200K of difference by now. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that was dumb. Oh, well. Oreo, stop with the freaking drool, you... No. Bad kitty. 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 Maybe I should replace you with a dog. Did you move? I don't know. Did I? Dude has 2 houses. I don't even have 1 house. What you talking about? I have 0 houses. Okay. What is the utility of a bank? Interest rates aren't worth it. It's just a way to have the government track your money. I think the ability to wire your money to anywhere that you want it wired to, the ability to know that your money is secure so that if your house gets robbed or your car gets robbed, that you still have your money. I think those things matter. Dogs drool a lot more. I don't know about that. Have you ever listened to Dave Ramsey? I have, Kedrick Johnson. I have. I was debating visiting him when I was in Nashville, but I never made time for it. Lewis needs to buy a building when the market crashes. The market's never going to crash here. Prices only go up. You should do a quick shout out at the end of each video. Like, that's it for today. Oh, every single board repair video I tried. But that's the second part of the problem. Nobody watches the board repair shit. Only 80 times, Jim Allen. If you consider the amount of drooling Big Dane Dog could provide, you should keep Oreo. But, you know, I had a Lhasa when I was a kid, and the Lhasa never drooled on me. It's still vacant, First Avenue location. It is, and it's going to be vacant until the end of time. Yeah, he gets taken to the vet, Nicholas Digby. The only thing that I've heard from the vet about Oreo is that he's too fat, that he needs to be on a diet. Every time I take Oreo to the vet, they say that he's a fat ass and that he needs to be on a diet. But he cries. He cries so much when you try to put him on a diet. Like actual all-day, nonstop crying. But he's fat. Where would you like to travel when borders open up? I mean, I'm not limiting my travel because of borders. I've been traveling a bit. I want to visit Jacksonville shortly. Once I finish some stuff up here. I will gladly take Oreo and dab his mouth all day. I love that munchkin. You want to visit? You want to visit Auntie Jessica? You want to visit Jessica, whatever, little Oreo? By visit, you know, I mean like I drive you up there, I drop you off, I drive away, and then you have a new home. What do you say? Yeah, Paul S. lives with somebody who's allergic to cats, unfortunately, or I would have dumped him. I would have dumped him a while ago. It's hard to diet cats. They can't lose weight quickly. It must be done very slowly. Yeah, he doesn't like any of it. Have you emailed Viva Frey? I have not. I emailed him like 5 months ago, but he said he was stuck for 3. His schedule was full for 3 months, so I never wound up scheduling anything because I have no way to determine what I'm going to be doing in 3 months. I saw your video on piracy adblock and found it insightful, and the concept of anime piracy came to mind. Is accessing content that would require subscription piracy to you? That's a good question. How are you accessing the stuff that would require piracy? I mean, that would require a subscription. You know you earn pissing off the right people when no one has DDoSed attacked your...
Oh, sweet mercy.
Well, it'll happen eventually, Harvey. Sup, Oreo, I love you. So many potential new parents for Oreo. You have a good day? I had a decent day, Philip. St. Augustine, Florida, best town in America. I don't know. I trusted you all when you guys were saying St. Petersburg is the best part of Florida. Holy hell, that was not true. But maybe St. Augustine will be better. See. I'll have to check it out. I'll check that out in addition to Jacksonville. You ever consider a job in software? No, I can't code for shit. Could you check on Discord PC repair? The last 2 messages are mine. Looks like pros are sleeping. I need to go to sleep and worried. Discord PC repair. What? I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff that I get pinged on in Discord. There's too many channels here, to be honest with you. Needs to be way less channels. Okay, let's see. You posted something. Is there another software to find out what is temp 3? I checked the mobile vaguely with thermalcam, my hottest thing. What do you mean by temp 3? What's temp 3? Oh, you're talking about... I don't know what the... yeah, I mean, no. Guess? You get to guess. That's what you get to do. Or find a schematic for your motherboard, which probably doesn't exist. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I have no fucking clue. Welcome to the fun of the independent repair industry, where you deal with... all the stuff that you deal with is completely undocumented. I'm not trying to be mean. This is the... welcome to our world. This is why we exclusively fix MacBooks. Because it's going to take me fucking 6 months to figure one basic thing out like that. And when I figure it out, then I can apply it to everything else. I have no clue what that is. So you said you took a thermal camera to it. And the hottest thing in there is the SSD at max 70 Celsius. So I have, yeah. I have no suggestion for you. I have no idea what that is. Sorry. Did you see Linus's take on piracy? No, I didn't. Tell me about it. Check out Titusville, Florida. Why does my phone keep beeping? Why do you keep beeping? This interface is horrible. Let's see. So much spam. So much spam. I don't know about it, Matthew Thomas. I haven't read up on that key system. The CPU is under a heatsink. You probably can't get a good reading on each core. Well, this wasn't a CPU core. He's talking about some other. Is that what that is? Like, I know it's just random temperature sensors across the motherboard. It's hard to believe this is correct because you have things that are measuring 12 Celsius. What inside your computer would measure 12 Celsius? That's weird. Okay, you're kind of trolling now. Next. Do you use an ad blocker? I do. You know, a Tesla battery gate. I don't, but I also hate when people add the word gate to everything. It's so annoying. I thought you moved permanently. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know how many times I could say that. I've said this like 1,000,000 times. I want to figure out if I want to move to that state. I rented a temporary apartment. If I like it, I'll buy a house. If I don't like it, I'll go somewhere else. Model 3, yes, Jay Shady. 12C doesn't sound right. It doesn't. That's crazy, Hamster Smash. All right. Thanks for the stream and the company while I have dinner. Thank you for being here for the last 8 years, Rodrigo Morao. I've enjoyed your presence here. How are you liking it out in the boonies so far? It's very relaxing. I'm just not up on the whole negative 15 degrees thing there all the time. Like, it's really cold. Very cold. Jacksonville's not cold. I've done a few component replacements like HDMI ports, but I still have no idea what I'm doing. What should I do to like get a job in this field? Practice more. Practice more. Watch videos, learn, practice, learn, practice, learn, practice, fail, try again, try something different. Work, try to get instruction from other people. Be open to interning someplace. Maybe you don't make any money. Maybe you clean up their shop for free and you don't do anything, but on their spare time, they teach you something. Offer your services for free, whatever it is you know how to do in exchange for learning. I don't do GPU repairs. I need to be able to make money to pay rent. Jacksonville, Florida was not cold this weekend. Get out of here. Get out of here. No, negative 15 degrees with wind on top is cold. My first pet was a Lhasa. And I will not tell you its name. What is the appeal that makes people buy Macs over other brands? They want something that just works. Like if you want a laptop with the amount of power, battery life, and efficiency that comes with an M1, there's nothing that competes. That's it. If you want a laptop for the price of an M1 MacBook that has a screen with that same level of quality, there's nothing that exists at that price of the base model. Like there's things that Apple gets right that nobody else gets right in any way. The problem is all the crap that they get wrong, and it really is just a question of priorities to you. Are you knowledgeable on OBS versus Streamlabs? I know that Streamlabs owes me $150 and they're a garbage, shitty vendor. Let's see. I don't know what you mean by what the deal is. I mean, you could either watch them and listen to them and ask a question, or you could be a troll, ultimate YouTuber. What's your opinion of censorship of misinformation online? I guess the question is who defines misinformation? I don't like the idea of there being one person that defines misinformation. MacBooks are vastly superior, even the A1534. What? Get out of here! A1534. Next, you're going to be saying an A1237 is the best MacBook. I do not use YouTube Advanced on my phone. I give them $10 a month for YouTube Red. I get enough value out of YouTube that $10 a month is honestly worth it. Like, it just wasn't worth it to me to fuck around and figure out how to crack it or anything. I actually like the service that I get from YouTube. I can watch a wide array of topics from a wide array of topics from a wide variety of different people. You know, it doesn't buffer much. It just works. I get enough value out of YouTube that I really had no problem giving them $10 a month. Back in 2016 or 17 when they came out with it. St. Petersburg, it just seemed like it. I don't know. It just seemed ghetto. Like, again, you know, I've lived in like Bushwick in Brooklyn and Bed-Stuy in Brooklyn, and I did spend a little bit of time on the border of East New York 10 years ago. It's just like I want something new, you know. Like I drove around St. Petersburg and I could not find anything that like looked remotely attractive to me. Like, nothing about St. Petersburg made me go, wow, I really want to live here. Making it easier to bike in New York City is not having crazy drivers that constantly veer into bike lanes, don't use turn signals, and try to kill you. But that's a pipe dream. Component shortages like chip shortages. How would a component shortage exacerbate repair costs compared to buying new? I think you answered your own question. What's your opinion of healthcare in New York City? I don't have much of an opinion. I think healthcare in this country in general is a clusterfuck. I don't like your definition of pirating. Just because a company only pursues the distributor doesn't mean downloading content someone re-uploaded for free is legal or moral. I've yet to see a legal argument made against someone downloading a piece of content. I've yet to see the legal argument for it being something that they could actually sue for. What are your primary concerns when looking into what city to visit or potentially move to? I'd like a place where the property tax is not completely insane, or if the property tax is insane, it's made up for by a lower tax burden in other areas like income tax, sales tax, and so on and so forth. I would be looking for a place where the people that I meet are not crazy. I'd like to be able to meet people from a variety of different political ideologies and standpoints, but that are not, I don't want to go someplace where everybody that I meet thinks the same thing. If I throw a rock and it bounced off 10 people, I'd like to actually not really know what they all think of a particular issue. It's very boring to be someplace where like you just know what your neighbor thinks. You know before you even ask what your neighbor thinks on 30 different issues. It's very boring, and it leads to a fairly boring life. I'd like a place where people in that community take care of it, you know, where you don't see pollution and garbage everywhere, where people don't make constant nonstop excuses for why there is crime or petty theft or everything else, and like, you know, just pay more in taxes, just pay more of, if you instead of paying 45% in taxes, you pay 70 or 80 or 90%, and all the money goes to this person, maybe they'll stop committing crime, kind of thing. I want to live someplace where that is not the prevalent philosophy, where people actually take care of their neighborhood, where they do not throw garbage on the streets on a regular basis, where, like in my neighborhood, I will see somebody that's in a Mercedes S550, and they will drive by, and they will throw an entire bag out. They'll open their window and throw an entire bag of shit on the street. And it's like, you can afford to drive around in a $120,000 fucking car, but you can't afford the human fucking decency to just throw whatever that was in a garbage can later. Like, you get what I mean? It's just, it's not, I just want to be away from that mentality. I want to be someplace where there's not a lot of air pollution either. I would want to be someplace where just the general construction of everything in the area is not trash. Like 99% of the time when everything that I enter in New York City, it just has this look to it like it's falling apart. The reason it's falling apart is because they can't afford to make it any better. They can't afford to make it any better because everything's insanely expensive. And it's just always going to be like that. Like there's always a corner cut anywhere. Like this place is almost twice as much as the apartment I have in New Hampshire, and the windows are such trash that I have to put fucking plastic wrap over them so that I don't feel a draft all night. It's just like that shit just gets old after a while, you know? I don't believe the crime statistics, Oscar, because there are areas where I'll go through and I'll browse it. I'll walk around, and then I'll see what the crime statistics are. And I'll just, okay. So that statistic demonstrates that nobody reports crime in that area. Good to know. I have a hard drive issue in my old MacBook. Do you have a video specifically addressing hard drive repair and memory recovery? I have only 2 of them, and they're basically for seized heads, which, to be honest with you, somebody probably should not be trying to do on their own. Though 99% of the time when somebody opens up their own hard drive, they're going to fucking destroy it. But I have 2 or 3 videos on hard drive data recovery. I think we should raise the age of consent to 40. I don't think that's a great idea. Do you think the world is engineered to keep the status quo? I don't know what you mean by status quo, but there is this quote from Adam Smith, the peace and order of society is of even more importance than the relief of the miserable. And I do think that we've arranged society in a manner to ensure that the peace and order of everyday society is more important than the relief of the miserable. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think peace and order has a high value to it. A value that you don't really appreciate until it comes crashing down. Silicon caulk is not going to work for this window. You'd have to see it in person to understand. This window was probably put in when this building was made in 1920 or 40, and it really looks like it has not had any maintenance. They actually had these shutters on the window, you know, the shutters that you could do this with, and they just fucking painted over it. It's so pathetic, because they actually had original fucking shutters in this apartment from over like 100 years ago, and they just painted over it so they don't work anymore. It's just like stupid shit like that. It's like there's no appreciation. So you get all the downsides of... You get all the downsides of not preserving history, but also you get all the downsides of living in some place that's 100 years old, you know? But that's like a New York attitude, you know? I'm just going to paint over the shutters. Who cares about preserving this thing? Luxus is mad. He's mad that I asked somebody to be specific. Will you be concealed carrying and open carrying in New Hampshire? You know, I've learned a lesson to keep some of those details to myself, Jesse Cruz. I appreciate the question, but that's one of those things I learned a lesson there. I'm just keeping that to myself. I'll leave it at that. This is an AE 5400. Where'd you get your tree? Erica. My house was made in 1900. Most of the windows were replaced with the double paned ones. Yeah, my windows, I don't even know if they're double paned or single pane, but they are shit. You and Joe Rogan should do a podcast episode together one day. I'm not against it, but I've emailed a couple of times in the past. But what mic do you use for the cell phone? I don't use a microphone. Oh, I'm sorry, the Rode video mic. The TRRS Rode video mic. It's like $50. You can get it for $30 used on eBay. It's really good. My cat is comfortable, true life. My kitty is adorable. Look at this kitty. Look at this little Clinton monster. What is this little Clinton monster? Thank you, Tasty Fish. I don't think anything about it. I don't play games much anymore. Pocket quack. What's the max amount of cats you could handle in your lap? 2. Blackberry doesn't like me, so she's not going to come over. No, Kilo Cubit. This is a green screen. Multiple kitty syndrome. My kitty is adorable. I love this little kitty. This kitty loves me so much. Look at this Clinton. Look at this Clinton monster. Damn, that's a lot of fur, Clinton. Jesus Christ. I'm pirating the stream with uBlock Origin. Oh no. Oh no. Who knows, master of everything? Who knows? Ask her. Is there something I can do to support your actions right to repair? Yes. Speak to members of your local government and get people in your local community to care. I really need that title of that video. I forget what it is. It's like, what can you do I forget the name of it, but I did because I get this question constantly. What can I do about right to repair? And I did a video on it, and I forget the fucking title of it. I really do need to figure out what the title of that is, because I get that question all the time. And I did a full video going over it in detail, and I have no idea where I put it. I'm a shitty content creator. I am a garbage content creator. Is it this one? No. Fuck. Can't do it. Let's see. Where is it? No. 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 Yeah, I know I did a video on it. I just can't find it. I forget what I made as the title. Boo. Boo. I'm never going to find this shit. Come on. All right, I got to do that another time. Sorry. You know what to do. You know how you could help. You don't need me to tell you. Okay. You should put numbers in your title because you remember numbers. Yes, I should label it LP133WP1TJAA. Model 3, Pegral. Do you look at Vermont as a place to live? Not as a place to live, but as a place to vacation. It's a beautiful state. I see a lot of swollen batteries, high octane. That happens after a few years. It's a thing with lithium-ion batteries. I'm really scared to see what actually happens with like electric cars. Because like, you know how lithium-ion batteries and phones and shit could start expanding and then cracking shit? Like, what's going to happen when that happens in a fucking Tesla or a Ford Mach-E? That's going to be interesting. They are a standard component now, Daniel Monsanto. The worst ISP I've ever dealt with is Comcast by far. Comcast is fucking garbage. Comcast is the one bad thing about New Hampshire. They are words can't begin to describe how fucking incompetent on purpose that entire organization is. Investing in stocks is legalized gambling if you're day trading, Oscar Gonzalez. A lot of people like to convince themselves that they're smart and they let their ego get in the way and they actually believe that they're investing when they're day trading. Lewis on Joe Rogan, did you know apes learned how to repair MacBook boards? Jamie pulled that up. Electric cars are bad. Batteries themselves, disposal, etc., at distance charge, they are useless. That's incorrect, and there's been a good amount of work done on that because there's been that idea that there's a higher cost to make the car environmentally than just getting an internal combustion engine one. And it depends on how many miles you drive it. That's been a common point of copium, but it is copium at the end of the day. No, I'm not that cool, Gaffs, but thank you. You're not going to have a standard for batteries, Enotech, until you get to a point where I don't think you could have a standard for the materials used for it, but I think it would be cool to have a standard for the battery shape and structure so that you could replace it. So even if the technology in the car was different, there was a standard connector for the battery. There was a standard size to put it into the, like, you know, you have 3 different sizes, like your normal battery, your big boy battery, and your giant truck battery, that kind of thing. Move to Minnesota where it can get down to 70 degrees below zero. No. Fuck that. No. That's too cold for me. I'm too much of a pussy to do that. The other thing that I found very interesting is when people will say that the batteries use cobalt and cobalt is bad. Do you know how much cobalt gets used when you're like just refining oil or refining gasoline and stuff like that? But that entire thing is it's a giant thing of copium. And I understand why the copium is very popular there. Because A, electric vehicles are expensive. so they're seen as a status symbol for the rich. And B, a lot of electric vehicle companies may or may not be head up by somebody that's kind of a douchebag to his customers. And C, one of them has a giant list of annoying fanboys. So there is a high demand for copium to deal with the annoying fanboys from the one particular EV maker. But at the end of the day, it is copium.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Understanding 10K is key to being an educated investor. No, it's not. I'm sorry, but no, it's not. At the end of the day, you don't have any. You can read all the shit in the world about a company. You have no fucking clue what tomorrow brings. Like, you really don't. You can guess, but you have no fucking idea what tomorrow's going to bring. You can read the forum all you want, but that's the thing. A lot of people will actually read the 10K or read the 10Q and think, I'm informed. And then they'll make it something. And at the end of the day, their long-term track record is garbage compared to the S&P 500. The worst thing, the scariest thing in the world when it comes to buying stocks is somebody who thinks they know what they're doing because they've read a forum or they read an article or they saw a press release. Like, they say, do your research. But like, at the end of the day, you have no idea what tomorrow's going to bring. You really don't. And unless you are somebody who is like a 20-year professional in that field, you're fucking fooling yourself if you think you have a clue. Most people do. I've looked into cheaper e-motorcycles, but Zero is not what I would consider cheaper. Do you think Elon Musk has the worst fan base? Not the worst, but one of them. I think Elon Musk has a lot of people who kind of see him as a father figure. The thing with Elon is he's generally smart. He's got an insane level of general intelligence, whether it's he can involve himself with battery engineering, he can involve himself with the solar section of Tesla, he can involve himself with the engineering and the production of the car, and he can speak on a high level to all those people. He knows what's going on. The problem is that, again, he does a lot of trolling, which is funny. Like, it's funny because people will say, like, you know, when I say I didn't like Trump or I didn't want to vote for Trump, they're like, what, mean tweets? It's like, no. I found his Twitter fucking hysterical. I found Trump's Twitter hilarious. I didn't like him as a candidate, but I could log on every single morning while I'm eating my breakfast and I would just start belly laughing or spitting out my orange just reading the shit there. And Elon's kind of the same way. Like, he's a giant troll. He has enough fuck you money to not care what other people think, and he just trolls and trolls and trolls and trolls. And it's fucking funny. And I think that a lot of people look up to Elon because he's able to do and say things that normal people could never fucking do. Normal people wish they could troll the way he could, but they can't because they'll get fired, because their wife will leave them. Like, a lot of people, but the problem is a lot of people wind up looking up to him and seeing him as a father figure and defending every single fucking thing that he does. Like, regardless of whether it's good or bad or horrible, like, it cannot be wrong. I must defend the precious. I must defend him. And I see a lot of people out there that treat him like a father figure, and it's very weird. But I think this whole thing of online dads has been becoming much more popular over the past 5 to 6 years on YouTube. Like, the trend of people becoming father figures on these websites or on social media in general. What do you think of the whole climate change movement? That's far too general a question to be able to answer. You have to make it more specific. Seditionalist is ignoring the fact that the goal is to have more green energy sources for charging stations. But he knows that because he put hides and asterisks. I think there's a difference there, Mike W. It depends. You can't really understand why it is somebody chose to purchase something. I think that there are a lot of people who have virtue signaled from 2009 through 2017 to 18. But the problem is there's been this kind of counterculture backlash where people look for virtue signaling everywhere, even when it doesn't exist. Do you have an online father figure? I don't. I have an actual dad. I don't need an online dad. Lewis, just watch your video on AdBlock. If ad blockers are capable of faking that an ad was served, what do you think would happen? Content creators get paid, but it hurts advertisers. I think you answered your own question there. I don't know if that you... you answered your own question there. If Apple makes a car, will you fix it? Paul will. Paul. Will you be our father figure? I hope nobody sees me as a father figure. I haven't got my life figured out enough yet. I have barely got my own life figured out yet. What brand of catnip does Clinton prefer? Clinton really just prefers greenies. He hasn't really gone insane for catnip. There are cats that get catnip and there are cats that don't, and he's one of those cats where I don't think he knows what catnip is, but he loses his shit for greenies. Also, am I reading this properly? Is there someone from a New York City real estate firm in my fucking chat? What? Holy crap. Jamie Fest from Corcoran Real Estate Group. What licensed real estate people are here? Oh man, that is an interesting intersection. Pineapple on pizza is amazing. Rachel, don't say things you can't take back. Do me a favor, Rachel. Don't say things publicly that you can't take back. The live chat here is logged, so people will be able to see that. And you may want to think about whether or not that's something you want other people to know before you put it into a chat that's public. I am not Oreo's dad. It is temporary. I don't know anything about that, Emmanuel Velasco. I don't have enough knowledge to be able to have an opinion. As a content creator, is it beneficial to you if your viewers have YouTube Premium? I assume you don't get ad revenue from those viewers. You don't get ad revenue from them, but it does show up. I don't know exactly how much you get. It depends, but I do know that if somebody has YouTube Red, then I do get a portion of it if they view my stuff. I just don't know what it is. You comment. I remember. I think I commented on your page because I didn't know if this was real. It's like there's no way in hell somebody from an actual real estate company in New York is watching this channel because I'm confident that they all hate me. Wow, I am surprised. I am pleasantly surprised. Okay, so I got a question for you though. When advertising your properties, and be honest. If I were to take a look with this, would I be satisfied? Actually, shit, my battery's dead. Oh, crap, you defeated... Oh, here we go. My battery's dead. My battery died. A real estate agent showed up in my chat, and the battery in my Bosch died. That's crazy. Oh, man, defeated. I've been defeated. I got to replace my batteries. I actually never replaced the batteries from this thing from 2019. Anyway. Oh, man. I have been destroyed. Hello, Ashtosh Pandi. I mean, I think that's... What was that? No, 10D Destroyer. I am not. I've been a real estate agent since 1986, says David Goldsmith. Oh, boy. A monkey's smarter than humans. It depends on the human. Why shouldn't a real estate agent like what you do? I had some interesting comments in phone calls after I did that real estate series in New York City, where I went to all the different places and I measured the size of the space, and then I compared it to the original ad, and then I confronted the real estate agent. I'll just leave it at that. I had a lot of unhappy phone calls, emails, and in-person meetings. Whatever happened to the contractor that did a horrible job? He got away with it scot-free with no consequences. Yay, New York City legal system. That was Eugene Harrington of Gotham City Solutions, and he got away with it with no consequence. Buy some greenies. Thank you. Greetings from Poland. It's 3:30 a.m. and I'm trying to work. No luck. Same here. How does Lewis manage a company? I don't know. I got the internet. I have a phone. I got all different types of stuff. Hell, even if I don't have broadband, I could use Earthlink, dial-up, and dial into my company if I wanted to. I could also trust that people know how to do their job. That kind of helps. Hiring people that aren't idiots is really it's a big part of it. I saw those. Made me sad to see people have crappy experiences. If you're able to sell the modern state of New York City to people at modern New York City prices, you must be a much better saleswoman than I could ever imagine. It's kind of like, I would love to see you at Corcoran. You ever watch, what was it, Wolf of Wall Street? Remember when he's like, sell me this pen? I would love to see what you would say for sell me this pen. If you're able to sell people New York City condos and real estate at the prices they are right now, you'd have to have a pretty fucking kick-ass answer to sell me this pen. It's like, how dare you test drive a vehicle to see if you like it? Huh? I don't get that. Is that a bigger chair behind you? It actually is. I hope no one gets Eugene again, but I'm sure they will. Hopefully not. He has a really interesting Google ranking now. As an anarcho-capitalist, I hear many of your views in politics and other stuff to be similar to mine. What are your views on it? Ever read about it? You mean it as an anarcho-capitalism? I think that there are some sections where it falls short, and rather than somebody say, like for instance, there was an interview that Sam Cedar did with this guy, I forget his name. I really don't want to insult, but he kind of talks a little bit like Daffy Duck. I forget his name, like big time libertarian. But he did an interview with him, and he got to a point where he had one of two answers. He could have either said, A, listen, I honestly don't have a framework to say how this would be, how in a fully anarcho-capitalist society, there would be a better outcome here than there was in a society with laws. But what I can say is that the overall damage done by having a government that's like this is, I believe, greater than the instances that will occur in our society where I don't have an answer for you. But instead of saying that, he just went like he just went full 4chan troll and said something along the lines of, you know, the people in that building that fell down made bad choices and therefore they die. And it's like, dude, why? But like that was Yaron Brook is his name, and it's like that was supposed to be the best that libertarians had to offer, and I'm just thinking, what? Are you serious? Oh, that was painful. You could see just Sam Cedar just like drinking the guy's tears on stream, like just you could see the smug face that he had, but he earned the smug face in that video because it's like, really, that's your answer? Seditionalist said, I once sold a pen to a homeless person. Prove the point I could sell a pen to everyone. Okay, that I don't believe. I won't believe that without evidence. You don't have to sell it that hard. People are buying. In my eyes, borrowing is cheap and throwing money in the walls to fight inflation is what people are doing. That's crazy. That too, Schwa. I do, seditionalist. That is a crazy claim, so I demand evidence. I suck at all of them, Supersonic Vengeance. I'm bad at all of it. I lurk on 4chan only when I get an email with a link to a thread about me, and then I read through it, and it's like somebody should shoot this guy, and then I just kind of laugh and click X. A good mic to start podcasting, I would say, is a used AT2020. No, Jake. I don't have... What the hell is that? That scares me. Nope. That scares me a lot. What do you think of silver bullion or physical silver? I have no idea. Don't take investment advice from me. I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to that. It's just I'll tell you I have no idea what I'm doing. Sadly true, Nordum Baurum. That's weird. Next. You have $2 bills, Jessica? That's weird. I haven't seen one of those forever. I am not Nick B. I'm sorry. Jason Nelklin, I have a 45-minute video on that. Let's see if I can find it. I couldn't find my last video that I did on this. Let's see. Where did I put this video? Is this it? Here we go. Bada bing. Where are you? Where was the person who asked that question? Okay, so for Jason Nelkin, I have a video for you. Let's see. How is the Christmas tree is still up? Because it's my Christmas tree. You're not going to take it down. I always restock my peanut butter, Steven. Also, thank you for coming by. Everybody? Rich Rebuilds his other half is in the chat tonight. Mr. Steven Solowski, I apologize if I mispronounced your name. He's a very cool guy. There was a fly in my apartment, and instead of kill the fly, he captured the fly, and then he put him outside. Like, you can tell a lot about a person by how they treat the animals in their life, or even the ones that are not in their life. That says a lot. I was a piece of shit. I was going to try to kill it with a roll of paper towels, but then I got lazy and didn't do it. I haven't killed a bug in a long time. I don't know if it was because I was lazy or because I was just... or if I was being nice. I shouldn't assume the good answer. I should assume it was because I was being lazy. I try to avoid assuming I'm a good person. I have a book of his, Ace HW. I have a book from Stephen Kinsella on intellectual property. It's been a long time since I read it. Admittedly, I skimmed it. I did not read it. I skimmed it. Help me putting Tesla in my Passat, please, as Dave plays. I hear flute music. Oh, God. Oh, shitty flute. Oh. Have you ever fixed flight controllers? No, but I really do want to get a Cessna 402 at some point and a pilot's license. Where am I? I used to catch bees. Say hi to my son, Frankie. Hello, Frankie. How are you? JW, if I do actually get a house in New Hampshire, I will bring the recliner and the Christmas tree just for you. I honestly have found that I'm much more productive when I'm not in this recliner. So I wanted to get a desk just a desk and chair set up like before. I think it will for 10 to 20 years, Mike Z. That's my thought. I think that the unintended effects and consequences of the lockdown stuff in 2020, I think that is going to ripple until the mid-2030s. There is, Hamish, but it's kind of a mess. And Discord links are always changing, even though I set it to not expire and have infinite uses. So I don't have one. My best deadlift ever was 9 deadlifts of 300 pounds. My best bench press ever was 9 bench press at 225. But usually I'm about 10% below that. 10 or 20% below. I can't answer that question again, Edie. If I do, my brain will actually rot. I'm sorry. I shouldn't take that out on you, but I just can't keep answering that. What is worse than swans? Geese. What's wrong with a swan? Swan's nice. I used to like bugs alongside other animals. That's a long post. You have wonderful cats. I have 2 wonderful kitties. I love those 2 kitties. Swans are poisonous? I didn't know that. One clip, when you called the floor that wasn't even in the new shop, you called one side Rick and Morty level and the other side was just bad. It was the real estate videos you did that got me hooked. Well then. I've had so many people say, what are you doing with real estate videos on your channel? That's literally the most popular content I've ever created. I had a real honest 2-year obsession with empty real estate. I could talk endlessly about empty real estate. I was at a point where I'm not like, if I had went out on a date, I would be talking with my date about empty real estate. That was an interesting time in my life. Like, I could just be walking around Manhattan, see a piece of empty real estate, and that would be the topic of the entire day for me. I don't know if I'm ever going to find somebody who I can talk about empty real estate with again. Someday. Someday. Have you tried Brave Browser? I have not. Oh, shit. Okay, so check this out. So with Brave Browser, you get paid in some sort of crypto or some shit like that every time people view your page. But if you have a New York City state ID, you can't withdraw any of it. However, I don't. I have a New Hampshire state ID. I just forgot about that. I got to see how much fucking credits are sitting waiting for me in Brave Browser. Because I never cared about Brave. I signed up for it, but I never even did anything with it. Yeah, BAT. Because you have to have a fucking New York state ID. You have to have a different state ID to withdraw it. They don't let you withdraw it if you have a New York state ID. Now I don't have to care. Oh, I completely forgot about that shit. I got to see what's sitting in there. Who knows? Maybe I have $10 million sitting in BAT. Who am I kidding? When I look it up, it's probably going to be like 59 cents. No, because I don't know how to fix those, Cole Anderson. I have a drone flight controller. I have no way to tell if after I fix it, it works. I have no idea where to get a schematic for it. I have no idea where to get spare parts to it, so that I would not be able to do. I'm sorry. You have to transfer to a wallet, but to do that, you need to verify yourself with them. And if you have a New York state ID, you can't. But I don't anymore. Swans are seriously the only animals I can't stand. Got attacked as a kid and now I despise them. I've never been attacked by a swan. I've never seen a swan, to be honest with you. I can't get BAT, Cole. If you have a New York state ID, it just sits there forever. I'm hoping, honestly, it sits there forever. What would suck is that if it sits there and it expires after a certain period. But yeah, you can't do anything with it if you have a New York state ID. I just forgot about that. I registered that shit like 3 years ago. What if $1 million is sitting in there? It's possible $1 million could be sitting in there. Drone FC sounds like a Copaz question to me. I'm not able to immediately endorse Copaz as a drone repairman. I'll leave it at that. Geese attack me on my run. They make a sound. They hiss. Jesus Christ, I never knew that geese and swans were so evil. Yeah, New York has very strict crypto laws. New York has very strict everything, unfortunately. There was a rumor on Twitter from some random person, my happy gecko. That's what they're referring to. Would you take a job from DARPA or CIA? I don't have any qualifications that would lead to me ever getting a job with them, so that hypothetical is not one I'd ever have to think about. Oreo, what are you jumping so much for? I never knew a swan could be dangerous. I'm learning something here. I don't hear only nice things about Brave. Just saw you in Rich Rebuilds. Good show. Thank you. It was a pleasure being on his program. It was great meeting him and Stevan. I can't stand constantly barking, howling dogs. It depends on the doggy. I'm not getting a dog, Pauls. No way. How can I get a notification of when you go live? You subscribe. You can subscribe, or you can email lewis@rossmangroup.com. Do not ever feed geese. I've never met a geese or a goose. Give Oreo a hug. Man, he's kind of drooly. I'll give him a pet. When searching for an office in New York, didn't you say you wanted to move but couldn't because of the brand you built? What changed your mind? I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. What's the oldest Apple device you've ever repaired? A1181, I guess? A1150? Wings can break your legs. Huh? What's your opinion of YouTubers shoving subscriber versus non-subscriber metrics in people's faces? I don't understand what you mean by that. What do you mean non-subscriber metrics? What do you mean by shoving subscriber metrics? I've never seen an example of that before. Provide me an example. I hate geese almost more than anything in the world. I've never met a geese or goose. What's your opinion of BlackBerry devices? They suck. Oh my God, they suck. The last BlackBerry phone I had was a BlackBerry Storm 9530. Fuck that piece of shit. Never again. Before that, I had an 8330. I got an HTC Incredible. It didn't lag at all. The browser just fucking worked. I wouldn't have to take the battery out of the piece of shit every now and then because it would randomly freeze for no reason. Fuck BlackBerry, seriously. Oh, and there's no durability. Why do people remember BlackBerries as being so durable? You could wash your hands, dry them off, have a little bit of moisture on your hand, type into the phone, the little bit of moisture that leaks in, there's no liquid resistance on a BlackBerry whatsoever. It immediately goes in the PCB and kills it. They're horrible. They're horrible. Like, the hardware has no liquid resistance whatsoever. They're laggy. They were expensive. I don't understand why anybody ever used BlackBerries. And the fact, like, no. Ugh. Fuck the Storm 9530. I will always remember that phone. I use an S10e. They gripe about viewers not subscribing. They have greater than 50% unsub viewers. I mean, I honestly would prefer a lot of people unsubscribe. Xander, you got to make it more specific because I got asked that question like 90 times. I'm only going to answer that anything related to that Xandon and the trucker thing if you ask a specific question. But when it comes to I'd rather people unsubscribe. I'll be honest with you. Like, again, doing a video and seeing it get 10,000 views and seeing that I have 1.7 million subscribers, it's fucking depressing. I would much rather having 5 or 10,000 subscribers, so then when I look at the view count of most of my content, it makes sense, than have this fake number that doesn't really do anything. I would. So that's what I think on subscriber metrics. I would rather have less subscribers so that at least it kind of seems accurate. Because 1.7 just seems like it's a complete meme. It's not realistic. Opinion on open source VESC motor controllers. I have none because I have no idea what a VESC motor controller is. I've never heard of that. Also, that sounds like an acronym, and no acronyms. No acronym. Bad. Do you think being reluctant to get an e-bike for fear of it being stolen is reasonable? My $200 bike getting stolen will not suck as bad as the $2,000. I've noticed there's really no correlation between electric or not. Ironically, one of the last bikes I had stolen, it was before I electrified it. So when I electrified it, I go out of my way to have wires draped and I try to make it look like shit. I'll actually have like a little electric circuit breaker in there or something. Why does your live channel get 300 viewers and this main will only have 600 viewers? Because the subscriber number is fake. I don't think that's real. I really don't. Like, at some point, I think some troll from 4chan went on Fiverr and bought subscribers for me. I don't know how else to say it. Like, the subscriber number is fake as fuck. Like, there's no way in hell there's 1.7 million people here. That's complete bullshit. But for the e-bike, what I would do is you have to just artificially make it look like shit. So on my other red bike, I put a circuit breaker in it. I made it look a little rusted, and I have 2 wires hanging out of it. Like, I did all this. I cut up the battery bag. I did all this stuff so that I wanted it to look as if you touch this, you will get electrocuted and die. That's what I was going for. And that if you do that, I think you will have a lesser likelihood of it being stolen. There's a higher likelihood of the $200 one being stolen if it looks clean than the $2,000 e-bike if you make it look like shit and potentially a little bit dangerous. But again, a big part of the problem is living in an area where that's normal. So one of the reasons I don't want to live here is I don't think it's a normal or a healthy mindset to have to think to myself, how can I make my property look shitty so people don't try to steal it? That's not a normal mindset. That's not a healthy mindset. That's not a secure mindset. That's a mindset that tells you wherever you live, you need to get the fuck out of there. I don't know how people don't watch content as most entertaining stuff on YouTube. Well, thank you, Jessica. Whatever. I imagine most people don't agree. A majority of my subscribers don't agree. I don't guilt people into subscribing to my channel. I don't ask people to like and subscribe. You may notice that. If you go through all of my videos, I'll say, let me know what you think in the comments, and I do answer a lot of my comments. I stopped answering as many when I started getting 18,000 comments a day back in 2018, but I still do answer a lot of them. But I don't ask you to like. I don't ask you to subscribe. I don't really give a fuck one way or the other. But I usually just ask people to give me feedback on what they think. But I don't like try to guilt people into subscribing or anything. If I want the exact opposite to happen. I don't want to guilt you into subscribing so you subscribe but never watch. I want the exact opposite. I would rather a subscriber number that somewhat relates to the actual viewership of the channel. That's crazy, Arno Duck, but also scary. E-bikes are good in the winter. It's just how used to you are being freezing. My boyfriend was in an interview, and the guy interviewing him knew who you were. That's weird, Rachel. That's crazy. Where did he interview? Out of curiosity. You don't got to. If you don't want to tell me the company because it's too specific, if you could just give me the industry, because I'm very curious. I went to work talking to my girlfriend on my BB3860. I can't remember the model number. Phone on the way here, put the phone in the locker. When I got the buttons wouldn't respond. Man, I don't understand how anybody ever thought that Blackberries were, like, everybody seems to have this weird selective memory, or where they just rewrite the history and they say Blackberries were so adorable. Like, no, they weren't. Are you kidding? I used to fix Blackberries. I actually had failberry.com. That was a domain name. Hi from Santo Domingo. Your videos are good. Thank you, Lothar. My Christmas tree is up, Robert. Too many question marks, too. What made you change your mind and currently planning to leave New York City? I have not changed my mind at all. I rented an apartment somewhere else. I have a real estate agent in another place, and if I like where I am, I'll buy a house there. But I also want to check out a couple of other areas of the country, too. But yeah, I'd never change my mind. My mind is set on traveling the country, becoming a nomad, and checking out other areas and seeing what's around. My mind has been set on that, and it has not changed. You're genuine, you learn, and you're not afraid to admit a mistake. That's why I watch your stuff. That's why I tell people about you. Doing good whether it feels like it or not, man. Thank you, nobody. That means a lot. I hope that people recognize all the bad and the stupid things that I do so they don't do it themselves. YouTube also helps keep me honest. It's easy to not be honest with yourself after a while. Would you move to Miami? Miami's as expensive as New York City now. So like Miami is one of those it's one of those things where the traffic in Miami, people drive as bad there as they do here. The houses are as expensive in Miami as they are in New York. The office space and store space in Miami is as expensive as it is in New York. Oh, and when I went to downtown Miami, one of the things that when I went to downtown Miami, what was I saying? There was a lot of empty real estate, just like New York City. Like you had all these stores that were empty in the middle of the day, and you had giant tents on the street where people were sleeping. So it's very, very similar to New York City in that respect. The only thing that Miami had were near South Beach were giant thirst traps. And this is actually imperative because if I wanted to move, the only way that I would get my staff, which are mostly young single men, to be open to moving someplace, one of the things that may help is saying, hey, you want to check out the area for a week, and then walking around it, and then there being a bunch of thirst traps. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the whether or not it actually is viable, it's as expensive as New York City. So I mean, it's kind of like out of the frying pan into the fire. I did take one person back to to check out Florida with me. I'm not going to say who. And we were walking down the street, me with Erica, him with his wife. This is a dude that in 9 years has never, ever, ever looked at another woman. Like even when the hottest drop dead gorgeous person walks in the store, he just pretends nothing happened. Like he's not even nothing, zero, no reaction. Like you would think he's asexual. And this group of two young women walks by us. He just does he looked, he caught himself, and he just started laughing. And then and his wife goes, "I saw that." And it's like and he just like, we just both we burst out laughing because it's like, what do you do? Like the person that walked by, it was very obvious that this person spent like 5 hours in front of a mirror before going out. It's very obvious. There was a lot of time spent. Like this group, they very clearly put a lot of effort in because they wanted that reaction. There's no doubt. They want people to look at them as they're going down the road. And in that particular section of Miami, you have the opposite on the male side. The men, you see all these fucking Lamborghinis going. Every single car that we saw in this one stretch, this one row we went to get to the restaurant, every car was $100K or up. And all the men are dressed in this super expensive shit. And all the women look like they put 5 or 8 hours into themselves before they walked outside their place. But yeah, we were walking down the road. And it was just I've never seen him look at another woman in his life. Like single, girlfriend, married, whatever. He's right next to his wife. It's just, he just said, he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. There was nothing I could do. My dick just uppercut my brain. Like so Miami is something for that. But it's insanely expensive. It's insane. Miami is super crazy expensive. It has a lot of empty real estate. It has a lot of homeless problems. It has a lot of traffic. It has people that drive like they do in New York City. It had a decent amount of COVID-related shutdowns and crap in the beginning of 2020. So I don't really see how that's... Like, I'd be moving across the country, but I wouldn't be making a radical change. Now, again, if I was worth $80 million and I wanted a sugar mama or something, or, maybe, I guess, but like that's not that's not the life for me, you know? That's not the life for me. I have been to Hawaii once, Nilsson's. Very expensive. Thank you, Mad37. The BlackBerry 9530 was horrible. You're insane, Abdullah. That's insane. Are you kidding? You want that fucking piece of shit clicky screen that never worked? What?
Oh, sweet mercy.
Answer to Rachel's question of what company asked if I knew Right to Repair was in motion. They do various software contacts, one of which is for Kubota tractors. I start Tuesday. Wish me luck. Well, that is awesome. If they knew, a company asked if you knew what Right to Repair was. In motion. Okay, I'm going to write that down because I'm curious. I'm always curious which people know who I am and why. I sub so your videos are on my homepage. I choose to watch. Sometimes want to run about the title. Sometimes I'm too tired to follow board repair. Thank you, Kaigenesis. I never got a crackberry. I live in Miami and I hate it, bro. Why, don't come here. Why do you hate it, Crimson Sigil? I'm curious. I know why it's not for me, but I'm curious why you think it's not for you. Best built laptop data, hombre. I don't know. I still think the T and the T series ThinkPads are some of the best you can get. The T, the P, and the X series ThinkPads. But I also like the framework for their outlook on repairability. When are you going on InfoWars to talk about Right to Repair? I don't think Alex Jones would be interested in having me on. But let's see. I live in the New York City metro area, and taking the commuter rail into the city every few weeks to walk around and get pizza is great, but I couldn't imagine living there with all the problems they have. Where in the New York City metro area are you? I only know one person who had a BlackBerry Storm and they hated it. Yeah, me too. My friend Jake had one. It was horrible. Thank you, Led Jerry. I grew up in South Florida. In the Keys, generally, people dressed to the nines don't really have a lot of money, but the guys walking around in Sandy's boat shirt and shorts have the 100-foot yachts. Yeah, it's kind of like New York City, where you have people driving around in S550s. I've had to tell people when they say, like, when you see somebody with a really expensive Mercedes or BMW or Audi in New York City, don't be jealous, because 99% of the time that is a leased vehicle. They do not own it. They could not afford to own it. And like, there's a lot of people in my neighborhood that just have these real, like, you'll see that they're driving around a Mercedes S580, but they don't actually have any money. And part of the reason they don't have any money is because they spent all their money to lease that damn car. But there was a lot of, you could tell, like, I'm something tells me all those Lamborghinis I saw in South Florida were not owned. Call me crazy. It's, rate Casey's Rib Shack for me. 11 out of 10. That place is fucking amazing. I love that place. I actually went there on Friday night before driving back, and I had a really interesting conversation. I met a contractor. Just a random dude. I said hi. He said hi back, and we had a really interesting conversation about the next generation, business, retirement, construction, Jersey, all different types of stuff. That hasn't happened to me in a New York bar ever. It's weird because I'm surrounded by people here, but those types of naturally free-flowing conversations with new people just don't happen the same way. Without question, half the Lambos you saw in Miami were rentals. Imagine working your whole life just to lease a foreign car. Rented Miami has the second largest rentals for exotic cars in the U.S. behind L.A. Yeah, a lot of people are really trying, like, they're trying their best to put out a particular. Does the freezer trick work on hard drives? No, and Steve has gotten to a point where when he sees it's been in a freezer, he just sends it back instead of wasting time on it. New Hampshire people are so nice. Sometimes it's so natural. It's way better here than other places. Lots of people in New Hampshire are super fake and evil. Jessica, whatever, has done a bang-up job of making sure that I never buy a house in Nashua. She has done to Nashua for me what I think I've done to New York City for my audience. Have you considered joining the Sith? I don't know what that is. How can you tell it wasn't a freezer? That's a question for Steve. Email steve@rossmangroup.com. And he may or may not get back to you. Or he'll kill me for giving out his email publicly. I live in Miami and I love it. Why do you love it? The other guy hasn't answered why he hated it, but I'm curious why you... What do you love about Miami? And what do you do for a living? I'd rather be able to own a cheap car than rent or lease an expensive. I drive an old beat-up Mustang that I actually own and enjoy. You be hard to get out and make the money. That makes no sense. I have a Samsung S10e that I got used in my battery and my back cover because I know I'm going to wind up cracking this one, and it is coming tomorrow. Where would you move to? I don't know. Gotta figure that out. How does New York City recover? Ask Eric Adams. I feel bad for that guy. He's the one taking that up. I'm a farmer in Canada, constantly being screwed by John Deere. Do you have a recommendation how I can take action? Here. I don't have any recommendations for what you could do with the legal system in Canada. I do know there's 2 class action lawsuits here, and there's one piece of legal. There's one thing that I'm getting involved with here. I can't tell you what it is, because if I do, then they're going to immediately jump in front of what I'm trying to do. But there is something that I'd like to do here, in addition to that I think will help them with their case. But I don't know what you could do in Canada. Contact Nathan Proctor at US Perg and ask him. I would contact Nathan Proctor at US Perg and ask him. I swear at some point we should trade emails. I got to give you so much advice about this state. Lewis at rossmangroup.com, Jessica, whatever. And I trust you could spell my name with 2 S's and 2 N's. I'll take a look. I promise. Do you support right to repair for Lambo owners? Well, is there a such thing as a Lambo owner? I've never seen an owned Lambo. I've only seen leased Lambos. Have you been in Boston? I have. And because the right to repair bill actually made its way through committee in Massachusetts, I was thinking of going to do a meetup group at the Trillion Brewery in Boston. I was thinking of doing a meetup at the Trillion Brewery in Boston because enough people actually wound up speaking to their politicians and getting it moved out of committee. After you ran to get Linus's post, don't you think your revenue model is different from his? I don't think my revenue model... I don't have a revenue model, I guess. I mean, he has merch. Let's see. Let me look at what he has got going on. 1 second. Linus has... 1 sec. I'm bad at this. Here we go. Let me get my chat on the screen at the same time. So Linus has merchandise. My merchandise is like literally, it's shit. It's 3-year-old memes on a mug that nobody buys. Float plane. I don't have another site. Amazon Associates. I have an Amazon Associates, but it actually makes me less money now at 1.7 million subscribers. It makes me 20% as much now as it did when I had 40,000 subscribers. So this is kind of dead now. Let's see. Facebook ads. I don't have Facebook ads. Sponsored projects. Nobody is stupid enough to give me money for that. In-video sponsor spots. Nobody is stupid enough to pay me to sponsor anything. And I don't have other revenues. I pretty much have this. Like for YouTube revenue, I have this. This is it. So I don't have merchandise is like 0.1%. Amazon Associate is like, is nothing. So his revenue model is like all these different things. I don't really have any sort of diversified revenue model because admittedly I haven't treated this as a proper business, which I really should, but I have that, but I don't really know how to. No Wyndham, Bedford, Derry, and Trashua, and you're fine. Okay, I get no Nashua, but what do you have against Bedford or Wyndham? Particularly Bedford, I'm curious. You never plug perch. What? So many interesting phrases here. You do in-video sponsors? I would if I got one worth a shit, but I never have. I've only gotten one ever. I got one ever from, what was it, Morning Brew? And they had an amount that they wanted that was just seemed like a little too low. Because Okay, A, they wanted multiple, but B, they wanted to work together on the video concept. So it's not like I shout them out and they pay me. It's like I have to work with you and deal with you making a video concept, and then I have to send it to you and see if you like it, and back and forth. And it's like, okay, how? And then I asked for a little bit more money, and they said no. So that was that. But that was like literally that was the only offer I've ever gotten that was real. Okay, NordVPN made an offer, but that was 3 years ago, and also they were a shitty VPN company anyway, and they wound up getting hacked. So if I did that, I would have kind of fucked over my reputation horribly. I would have fucked over my reputation horribly if I took the NordVPN one. So I never took that one. But there was the Morning Brew one, which I had asked for. Like I saw their offer and I just thought, I'm not popping my cherry for that amount of money. Like I've never done I've not done any sponsored content in 10 years. There has not been a single advertisement for anything on this channel. If you want me to pop my cherry, it's going to be, you better make it worth it, you know? People will pay more money for a virgin. You should be willing to pay more money for this. But yeah, that didn't go anywhere. You don't want to see a video of me fixing my S10e. I have no idea what I'm doing. Like board repair, sure. But like I destroy the phone to get to the board. I don't have I'm not good at like, you know, taking the back off of glued together shit. My friend has a few Lambos her company owns. She lives in Virginia, Maryland, and it's like she needs a personal maintenance crew to work on them. You diversify by selling parts as well as providing repair. Yeah, but that's a separate company. I have that. That's an entirely separate company. So that is separate. So that if I do something stupid, like move to a location that's too expensive, or you know, in the middle of a city that's failing, that anything that I get from YouTube doesn't wind up subsidizing a failing business. If there's anything I learned from my supply company, it's to keep things separate, so that if something fails, it doesn't drag down everything. Why not Rage Saddle Legends? I've never gotten an offer. What do you think about living in California versus living in New York City? That's not a real choice. That's like asking, do you want to like get kicked in the nuts or punched in the face? I don't consider that a choice. No, it's the opposite. You said Linus is focused on ad revenue because it's his livelihood. No, I mean, for him, it's literally less than 18%. When it comes to YouTube, AdSense is like 99.99999%. So for anything, Linus would be fine if everybody used AdBlock, whereas I would be screwed, at least in terms of YouTube as a business, if everybody used AdBlock. I love living in New York City. The snow gets plowed before it even hits the floor. Somehow I got a flat tire literally just riding into this shitty city. What do you mean, Magog? What town are you in? Does shilling your own business count? That doesn't count. That business don't pay me. That business doesn't pay enough. That business has not paid me for advertising. That business has not paid my YouTube channel for advertising. I don't think housing will get easier to purchase anywhere, Devin Phillips. Not anytime soon. I'm not going over that, K9 Killer. Have you considered creating or marketing NFTs? You have the audience. That sounds like a giant scam. If you want to light your money on fire, I have a link down below where you are welcome to donate money to me if you'd like to, but I'm not going to sell you an NFT. Again, if you want to light your money on fire, there are numerous ways to do that while giving it to me. But I'm not going to sell, no, fuck NFTs. I'm not going to sell you something under the idea that this is going to be, that has the potential to be worth more money later. Like if I'm going to take your money and light it on fire, I'd rather it just be an honest expectation that it's going to be, that the money is going to be lit on fire. I honestly, I don't. The thing is, I used to like biking better than driving, but the thing is, when it's negative 15 degrees outside, driving becomes more enjoyable. Also, when it comes to biking versus driving, it really depends where you are. In New Hampshire, I like driving. It doesn't suck. In New York City, driving is horrible. I much prefer biking. I think he only reads YouTube comments. Correct. I only read YouTube comments.
Oh, sweet mercy.
I prefer to buy network tokens or coins, not the overpriced GIFs being offered on them. I don't buy any of that shit. Burn what? Holy crap, that's $21. Thank you. Are you telling me you wouldn't sell me an Oreo the Cat NFT? Never. How will you know if moving to New Hampshire is the right decision for you? Once I've spent enough time there. What's the deal with your new place? What's the deal with packing peanuts? I visited Maine 3 times in 2020. I have no plan, Lemur. My life has no plan. It never has. Nope, I got stop-lossed out of that shit in January, Keskin, of last year. I don't know, Crimson Sigil. I don't know. It'll run itself. It'll run itself, or it'll run itself into the ground. That'll be its decision. There is no plan for time, JF. No plan. No house, Cubby. No house. Because it is not a Christmas tree pilot. It is a multi-purpose tree. See, for me, every day that I'm alive is a holiday worth celebrating. Every day that I'm alive, that I have the opportunity to try something new or do something new or live my life and enjoy it is a celebration. And I celebrate that with my Christmas tree. No, Twiggles, I wish I knew who it was. If I did know who recommended Olive Garden, I'd ban it. Maine is worth the visit. It's pretty beautiful. For relaxing purposes. Thank you, Made in Texas. You should not buy a VCR. That's a bad idea. Probably not, Flybridge. I don't really feel like going through the misery of moving that business for the amount of money it makes at this point in time. I'm kind of at a point where I think I may just either let it run, it'll run itself well, or it'll run itself into the ground, but it'll do whatever it does. That's a loaded statement, Meme Jeff. You're assuming the value will increase.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Do you think self-storage companies are a scam? I don't know. I've never used I've never used that before, to my knowledge. I don't know what you mean by self-storage versus storage. Do you mean self-storage as in like using yourself as storage, like putting things inside your asshole so that you could find them later? I've never done that. I usually get a storage facility where I'm using somebody else's storage. But I don't use myself for storage. I've never stored things inside my asshole before. Although I've never been to prison. Imagine if I was going to prison, I need to do that. Or if I was smuggling drugs from one country to another. I really hope we don't get to a point where right to repair has lost so badly that in order to get an ISL 9240, I need to smuggle it inside of my asshole. That would be horrible. Will there be an update on which models MacBooks to get if we need a MacBook? No, I never want to make another one of those again. I really don't. I felt it actually hurt me inside making that last time. If it's still alive, why throw it away? I agree, Jessica. Especially this one. It's fake, so it stays alive forever. No planning to visit Europe. Keskin, I have no plans to visit Europe. Devin Phillips, if I never went the device repair path, I would probably be an intern at Avatar Studios or an assistant making $7 an hour. Or maybe honestly, what I wanted to do is I wanted to become a therapist. That's what I always wanted to do in my life. I don't know how the fuck I wound up here. I wanted to get a degree in psychology, then go back to school for psychiatry, and then get a degree, and then, pursue that. I don't think I'd have been a good therapist. I think it would have been a horrible therapist. I don't want to buy a MacBook, Andre. I don't think I'd ever get a dog, Jesse. I'm a cat person. Cats are better than dogs. They listen to you. Dogs don't listen. I tell my cat, piss and shit only in that box, and no place else but that box. He listens. Dogs don't listen. I mean, yeah, if you say fetch, sit, roll over, who cares about that? I want him to listen when I say, here's where you shit. I don't have a favorite holiday spot. I don't have a favorite holiday spot. My favorite holiday spot is being able to share the holiday with people that matter to me and being able to have interesting discussions and meetings with them. But there's no particular space. What is your preferred breed of cat? Yeah, I don't have any favorite holiday spot. I think that's why I ignored your question the last 30 times you pasted it. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have ignored it. But when I see people copy and paste something, I start to ignore it just out of what's the word I'm looking for? Out of spite. The copying and the pasting drives me nuts. It makes it harder to read all the other comments. But thank you for the $5. I will take your $5. And I will spend it on probably greenies for Oreo. What is the meaning of life in the context of what is the purpose of consciousness? You're a deep thinker. I want your view. I think the meaning of life is the meaning you make for it for yourself. For me, the meaning of life is to essentially, I try to orient myself towards a purpose that matters, where I can positively affect other people's lives and the world through what I do. I think the purpose of life is to have meaning. And your life has meaning when you're able to affect the lives of other people in a positive way. Like some of my I know this is going to sound corny, but some of the happiest times I've ever had is when I figured out some flaw that somebody else hadn't figured out yet, or some common issue with a MacBook, and I would post a video on it to show everybody else. And then I would get comments from people saying, oh, I had the same problem with mine and now I fixed it. Thank you. That actually gave me a sense of, I've never had a higher sense of purpose in life than when things like that happened. That probably sounds sad or cheesy or pathetic, but it's the truth for me. The purpose of life to me is not partying. It's not the ability to have sex with people that are more attractive than me. It's not making more money. It's not, getting new toys. It's the feeling of having a meaning and a purpose. And that meaning and purpose comes from being able to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. In a way where you can actually see the positive effect of it. In whatever corner of the world you're in. It doesn't matter what corner of the world you're in. But in your corner, make it a little bit better. There's no such thing as a good USB microscope. There's no such thing. If you're trying to look at the screen, it doesn't work. You need a microscope where you're looking into it for yourself. Now, if you want to record stuff, you can get a USB camera for your microscope. But in terms of I'm going to look at the screen and work, no, don't do that. That's horrible. You won't understand how bad it is until you actually try it. This cat is named Oreo, Este. He's named Oreo. He's my Oreo cat. What do you do for fun or pastime? I pet my cat. I like music a lot. I like high-end stereos and music. Put some Earth, Wind, and Fire on with my Vandersteen Model 3s and some acoustic panels. How do you fix a MacBook Pro that isn't charging? I would go to repair.wiki and I would try to I would also follow one of my 620 troubleshooting guides in a playlist called MacBooks Not Charging. So I got a playlist on this channel for MacBooks that are not charging, and I have a ton of videos in it where I go over how I troubleshoot it, and that's what I would do. I don't know the model of your MacBook, so I can't really tell you how I'd go about it, but I'm a realtor. As someone who wears many hats, I've discovered there are many different kinds of people, hobbies, cultures, businesses you could partake in Miami. Weather, silicone, very boy. Silicone. Yeah, there was a lot of silicone in Miami. Yeah, I noticed. There was a lot of silicone in Miami. Funny you mention that. I don't play an instrument. No stereo. No stereo in New Hampshire, unfortunately. You got some va? What's va? You guys you have really interesting ways of using language. That makes no sense, Dan R. Henson. That argument makes no sense. Hello, Lamar Sullivan's mom. Nobody researches how to fix a MacBook, Lewis. It's easier to just drain your brain directly. Have it fixed by magic. I'm poisoning my mate Vince to love MacBooks now. Oh, Oh, very cool. I've heard a lot about my mate Vince. Dan R. Hansen, that's not an argument. And secondly, stop copying and pasting. Holy shit. What the fuck? You literally posted that 8 seconds ago and you posted it again. No. Oh my god, Oreo, stop drooling. Jesus Christ. Oreo. Oreo. Oreo, don't you run away. Oreo, stop that. Oreo. In the garbage, this thing goes. Send me an email, Killer Yogi, so I can understand it. While I greatly appreciate what Paul Daniels does, I resent the fact that his job has to exist. Some people just resent the fact that Paul Daniels exists. Paul Daniels is good at what he does. I agree, Austin Jones, but I'm not surprised. I don't think there's much to take offense to, Jimbo. I mean, I disagree. I have a level of respect for Linus and what he does. I don't assume the worst of him. I have a difference in opinion. I think I'm allowed to have a difference in opinion on something. I don't think there's anything wrong with having a difference in opinion. And I can't imagine somebody taking offense to it. Jessa and I have differences in opinion all the time, and we co-run an organization together. I will never move to Louisiana upside DIY. That is a state that I will literally drive around instead of go through, even if it means, wasting 5 hours. I can't, Keskin. That's unhealthy. It's actually unhealthy to do that. When you're in a customer service related industry, it's incredibly important that the story goes in one ear and out the other. Like your memory has to be like a sieve in order for you to work in customer service. If you actually retain all the bad experiences, you will lose your mind and become a very bitter, miserable human being. When it comes to customer service experiences, my memory is like a sieve. Nope. Rar. What did I... Oh, I missed something. 1 second. Be right back. Where was I? Ah, this button. Okay, time to get out of here. Thank you very much. I'm gonna clean off my pants because my cat drooled on it again and get Oreo out of here. Bye-bye, Oreo. Bye-bye. I'm gonna send you to Rachel or Jessica, whatever. We're gonna do a coin flip, and then we're gonna figure out which person gets Oreo the cat as an owner. You ready to say bye-bye, Oreo? All right.